The College Football Experience Week 6 reaction show episode on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Underdog's hooking up new customers. Play just $5 and get $100 in bonus funds when you sign up with our promo code. That's TCESGPN. So do that and let it ride.
This is Jim Mora, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Yes! 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 Woo! Welcome! Welcome to the College Football Experience Week 6 reaction show. Hey, boy. We thought it was going to be a light week, huh? No, not the case. Not the case, not the case, not the case. YouTube.com/The College Experience. Get on over there, hit that like and subscribe button. If you're wondering who the hell you're listening to, that's fair. My name is Colby Swinging Database Dad, a.k.a. Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
I'm dying in this fucking country-ass fucked up town. Shit flying in my mouth. Oh, fuck, I can't see pollen. Let's get the fuck out this country, mother.
Whoa, boy. What a, turn the gain down. See, this is what I'm saying. The audio's all messed up again. What a day. What a day. What a day. Currently, I mean, big time comeback from Duke. They were down 14-0. And they're basically went on a 45-7 run right now. There's still 20 seconds left, but pretty impressive there. Yeah, let's go. I mean, I'm very excited to talk about all these games. I am joined by my co-host. You got to remember, I've been watching football for 20 hours, so it's like up and downs. I need this these drugs to kick in. I am joined by my co-host. He is also the host of the College Basketball Experience. Give it up for Farmer Staffer at Austin Peay with the Governors. Big win, by the way. South Carolina with the Gamecocks. Big win because they didn't play. And the West Virginia Mountaineers, who covered for us last night. Ryan McIntyre, a.k.a. Moneyline Mac. What's up, man?
Yes, I did enough celebrating on that stupid-ass backdoor cover. Yeah, what a day in college football. Every time they say it's a bad Saturday, madness happens. So cheers to the chat. Let's go, baby.
Yeah, you know, my quick, before we go game by game. Oh, yeah, my bad.
Yeah.
Mac tonight! Come on, make it Mac tonight!
My apologies. My thing with this, like I had a winning day, not by that much, but I had a winning day, but it's more so what could have been.
Yeah.
So I shouldn't bitch when you have a winning day, but I'm going to bitch because the potential on a phenomenal day was there and it didn't happen. But let's get right to it. And also, I know we got third man in the booth as well.
Amen.
Yes, let's bring him in. He is the host, former host of the Big 12 College Experience as well. Give it up for the great Troy Chewning, who's down there. He's pulling a Stallone. He's at his fucking condo with all these great shrubbery behind him. What's up, Troy? How you doing, brother?
I was hoping you hit the shrubbery like Monty Python style.
Love Monty Python. Well, the youth doesn't even know about it, man. They don't even know about it. What's your top Monty Python? Holy Grail?
Life of Brian.
Okay.
Life of Brian.
I feel like Holy Grail is probably the TMZ, like, even though it's fucking hilarious. But I'm saying
Holy Grail is almost the one that it's worth if you have a young kid that says Holy Grail, you give him a pass now. Like, oh shit, this guy at least knows Monty Python. Damn.
Yeah, but I feel like if
when you hear somebody say Dark Side of the Moon is their favorite Pink Floyd album, in the past you'd be like, oh, that dude's mainstream. Now you're like, damn, this dude actually knows one Pink Floyd album. Holy crap.
Yeah, exactly. Now you just take that as a win because he's not listening to fucking Creed or some shit. You know what I mean? You're just like,
gotta throw a fucking stray at Creed like that. Damn.
Yes. And please, you're lucky I'm not drunker.
We only just started, Colby.
I know, and you saw me pre-episode swig some Kettle One, getting in the mood. We're starting to doze off on the couch watching this Cal offense, and got back up, ready to go. And let's just start. I know we go chronologically, but I feel like we should jump one spot ahead.
Let me guess. You want to talk about Penn State?
Yeah, you know, Mac.
I thought you were going to transition into Blue Chew Bill after I was down and then I got back up.
All hail Nico.
On the morning show, I joked with Terrell that I go, yeah, Mac's got it out for him. He's got a dartboard at his house with Nico's face on it. And, you know, every time he gets drunk, he just throws fucking darts in Nico's face. Right? I was like, I don't really hate the guy that much. I mean, I think he made a bad decision, but he doesn't seem like a dickhead to me. I mean, he was probably listening to his dad. It was probably, you know, it's probably not completely out of his, you know, just you're going to follow what the fuck your dad tells you. The same way he taught you how to cross the fucking street. Right? But, you know, Max had him out public enemy number one. Said his biggest pile of shit. Said he wished he would get syphilis and all this other shit. Right? And, you know, now granted Mac was 37 Jaeger bombs deep when he had this attack, this verbal attack on DJU, but he also had a similar one on Penn State, and that's just because he's a West Virginia fan. Well, something had to give today, and I didn't think it was going to be this because Jerry Neuheisel. Oh boy.
Hello.
Patty C was texting me. Jerry Neuheisel, his hair is perfect for UCLA. He should be the next head coach.
Oh God!
And let me tell you, Jerry Neuheisel is very popular on the interwebs right now, and rightfully so. And I do love the fact that he's at UCLA because obviously his pops, Jerry, played there. The shoe fits. I like it when they're at that's their identity. I like it when they're in their identity. But holy fuck, what if I told you Penn State never had the fucking lead, 42-37. They were 25-point dogs. 25-point dogs.
Down 20 at half.
This was incredible. There were 16 people at the game. They had a blow out, right? Didn't they call that a blow out? There's actually, fuck, man. See, I'm doing this so late in the night. Hang on one second.
Should have called it a blowout.
Yeah, I'll take it away for you while you load up that storm in the field. So yeah, I mean, last weekend obviously I was overserved and I went off on James Franklin and Nico. Nico still sucks. But hey,
played very well.
It wasn't your fault. You were overserved.
Today. Now I will say he's 1-4. Everybody pump the brakes a little bit, but we need to shift. I mean, great win UCLA.
Merry Christmas, by the way.
Hey, hey, time out. What the fuck is wrong with Penn State? Oh my God. What is this?
Christmas tree still up.
What is wrong with Penn State? You lost at UCLA after what is wrong with
No, they got to be done now.
Dude,
right?
He's done. He's done. They're done. They got to run the table. They got to beat Ohio State. That ain't happening. They got to win at Iowa. That's not happening.
They got to beat Indiana.
To be fair, these all become not big games now, though.
This team sucks.
But now that they're not big games, James Franklin has a chance. That was they were down so big at halftime that it became a not big game, and that's how Penn State got back in the game. And as soon as it got close and it became a big game again, here comes Drew Allah with another bomb of a pick.
He's such a pussy. Like, he is just soft.
How many times did you say to yourself, what does Penn State have behind him, and should they give it a try during that game? Because there were at least 3 or 4 times that I was like, to be honest, it can't hurt. What? Ooh.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing at Cameron now. When I advised him, I have under 4.5 wins, or was it 5.5? 5.5 wins, I think it's.
Yeah.
And he asked me yesterday on the show, do you think UCLA under 1.5 wins? He put $1,500 on that because I said, yeah. Well, you still need another win, all right? And to me, the one-game bump, you got it here with Neuheisel.
How great would it be if they went 1-11 and their only win was Penn State?
Well, that's what I was about to say. I don't know that they're like, okay, if Penn State wins out, I think they're in the playoffs. If they lose to Ohio State, I don't know that because this is a bad loss. I don't know that they can get in with a 2-10 loss to a team that's 2-10 with 12 people at their game. I don't know that and they never had the lead in the game. Like they got their ass kicked today.
They were down 20 at halftime. They got hit in the mouth at the line of scrimmage. What was the yardage at halftime? It's like 300 to like 50.
Well, that great onside kick. Shout out to the real onside kick. No declaration like the NFL's bullshit. Great onside kick. Shout out to Rob Donaldson, who's like, why are we shitting on Creed? I understand Creed is still rock and roll in Iowa, brother, and I love you, but Creed is a terrible, 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 terrible. Like, Creed is actually the NFL. All right? That's what I like. This is what's happened.
They had one really good Thanksgiving performance, and everybody just loves it from that point on.
Did they have a good Thanksgiving? I don't think that's possible either.
Creed played a dope show at the Cowboys halftime at Thanksgiving back in the day.
To you, maybe.
And that's about it.
Maybe. To you, maybe. I was like Mac. I had Creed on my dartboard, and I was like, they're fucking terrible. You know, I compare it to similar things. It's like once too much money gets behind something like rock and roll or like punk rock or hip hop or whatever. I love music, so that's what I know. But the NFL is a similar vein. We're in the Creed era of the NFL. You know what I mean? Where like we had like the Stones and the Beatles and Pink Floyd and all this and Hendrix and all this great shit. And then you get to like this. No, this is your rock and roll for this decade.
No, that just means the Red Hot Chili Peppers is the next part of the NFL, which is unwatchable unless you're on heroin.
Hey, Chili Peppers are way better than Creed, though.
If you're on heroin, yeah, absolutely.
No. You really like Creed, huh? I really struck a chord.
No, I actually really like the Red Hot Chili Peppers, but that part of rock and roll would be not fun to watch if it was the NFL. At least Creed is entertaining. Like you can watch them and listen to them and be like, listen to how bad this is.
I like the Chili Peppers too, if they didn't mention California in every one of their fucking songs. But
we have to do basic math here in the chat real quick. We're getting a lot of shit for taking West Virginia last night from Michael B. West Virginia covered. Yeah, we hit. Oh, yeah. I had someone. 19.5. They lost by 14, buddy.
You get the 20.5 right before the game too, so you could have won twice.
Mac, I know you missed.
That's why it's Michael B, not Michael B. Jordan. He's irrelevant.
I know you missed the morning show, but I shit on somebody that was coming in. I was like, wait a second. I think you must. Maybe I didn't know your record last night, so I said maybe you have me confused. But I was like, I had a very good Friday night. Now Thursday, you could shit on me for my Sam Houston pick.
There was one pick, yeah.
Friday, I had the over in the San Diego State Colorado State game. I also had the Aztecs. I also had San Jose State. I also had Dub V. The only game I didn't touch was Charlotte, South Florida because of the injury situation. But I did play Delaware, so I lost just Delaware. So I was off.
And they should have won. And they should have won. They gave that game away.
Yeah, Mini Coochie is under federal investigation, as per my tweet this morning.
What was your tweet this morning?
It said Delaware Blue Hens quarterback Mini Coochie has been placed under federal investigation, as per me.
The fumble into the end zone was fucking brutal. But hang on, we're going all over the place. Penn State, UCLA. That's got to be the most unbelievable outcome, and this is why
of the season.
No, but this is why the sport's changed. I know we can blame Penn State for not being prepared, which would be accurate. But also the talent level is more even than ever. And also by you having this ridiculously large conference, you're going to see more of this because whenever you go very far away, there's an advantage. You see it in the NFL, you see it in the NBA, you see it in every other fucking version of sport. And this is exactly what happened here. How about shout out to Tim Skipper, by the way, who wasn't retained as Fresno State's head coach after taking them to a bowl game. Yeah. I know things fell apart for them. They had injury problems, but he did a decent job. Still got him to a bowl considering the cards he was dealt. This is a huge win for him. Shout out to Jerry Neuheisel, who is an alum. He loves the school, so that's exciting. But I mean, tell me this wasn't they were 10 of 16 on third down against Penn State. 10 of 16 on third down. They had 435 yards of offense. And it got a little tight when the block punt happened. And honestly, when the block punt happened, I thought Penn State was going to win the game.
So did I.
Yeah, I was like, no way. They're not going to be able to sustain this.
Yeah.
But Mac.
He's got to go. Franklin's got to go. Like, it's over. Unless they win at Ohio State, which he couldn't beat him with Saquon Barkley, the best player in the NFL right now. How is he going to win at Ohio State this year? Franklin's a joke.
But he would normally always win this one.
He always wins these games. Now he can't even win the games where you're supposed to win. It's going to be an ugly divorce, but it's time to move on, man. They're not ever winning anything with James Franklin as head coach. And I'm so pissed. I bought the Kool-Aid in the preseason. Fuck Penn State.
The good news is they got Northwestern next.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
lay it.
Most people took it, but hold on. We got some. What's that? We got the field storm that happened in Westwood in Pasadena. UCLA fans made the voyage from Westwood to Pasadena, and great field storm there in front of their Let's just go to the videotape.
Yeah.
CJ probably thinks that's a great video.
It's security guard. Why is he tackling? He's trying to tackle like a 10-year-old.
Shout out to the 12-year-old that led that kid right there. Shout out to the 12-year-old that led the storm, and none of the other drunk college students could join in with the 12-year-old kid.
We had a storm. It was a good 17 people. 17 people.
Not even a tropical depression there, Colby.
Is that the lamest storm of all time?
Yes. Yes.
But I'm still glad they did it. All right. Whoa. What's happening here? What the fuck? Here we go. But yeah, I mean, look, they got Northwestern next. Penn State does. Man, I mean, there's no way they fire him in the season, right? Like this.
No, I mean, they'll probably win out. Besides, I don't know if they'll win at Iowa. Actually, they'll lose it. They'll lose at Ohio State. Yeah, they're gonna go 8-4, and it's gonna be time to move on. They'll lose at Iowa too, and that security guard that looked like Albert Hainsworth. That's how lazy that fucking fat ass was.
Jesus.
I want to praise Nico.
Are we sure that the Big Ten hasn't figured out the SEC strategy here? Like, you're not going to prevent Ohio State from being in the playoff if they let Penn State win. Penn State could be in the playoff if they let Penn State win.
Well, when Tim Skipper went for that 4th and 1 at his own 30, and he went shotgun quarterback draw to Nico, I almost went crazy because obviously Penn State bottled it up. Now, luckily for UCLA, they were able to hold Penn State, but one of the worst play calls you can do. But Nico, 17 of 24, 166, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, but more importantly, 16 rushes, 128 yards on the ground, and 3 rushing touchdowns. The guy balled out today. And he deserves a game ball as far as I'm concerned because even though he got stopped on that 4th and 1 on a terrible play call.
Yeah.
Dude, he had like a 55-yard run in this game or something. Yeah. No one wants to say it, but kudos to him because honestly, if that was a lot of other UCLA quarterbacks over the past couple of years. That would be a turnover or two in this game. Maybe not DTR, but you got to praise him, Mac. Yeah, you got to fucking praise him and say he did good today, man.
Well, he did his job. I mean, he finally earned his paycheck. I mean, good God, it took till October. I saw Kerms tweeting at me, are you going to give Nico his praise? No, I'm not going to give Nico his praise. He's getting paid $3 million a year. He's 1-4. Do it over and over and over again. That's your job to win the game. He did play well, though. So, not credit to Nico, but congrats to UCLA.
Yeah, unbelievable win for Tim Skipper. Tim Skipper, man. Maybe did they find their interim head coach?
I hope so. I like Skipper, man.
Let's go.
And by the way, reminder, chat, I put UCLA in the contest. Talk about onions.
Oh, did you? I don't even remember.
I put UCLA in the fucking contest for Mac. Yeah. So I don't want to hear any of this. I hate Nico. Way to go, Nico. Way to come through, you.
There you go. There you go.
That should be 3 wins. It's 25-point dog.
Does Penn State wish they had Nico instead of Drew Aller?
Maybe. Actually.
Yes. What was that play call, by the way, too? The power rush. How about the punt safety? Where
why did they wait to run the ball until they were down by 3 scores?
Oh yeah, I mean, well, yeah, that too. But also the punt safety where they took like 10 seconds off the clock because they didn't rush the punt when you had to know there was a possibility. Pretty hilarious stuff there. Speaking of hilarious stuff. And Mac Misery. Mason. How do I pronounce his last name again? Heinschel? Heinschel. Something like that. Well, he's the freshman quarterback at Pitt that got the start today.
Yeah, he's better than the other.
Oh, my Lord. They found their quarterback. 30 of 41, 323 and 4 touchdowns. And this is what I will say. So Cade Bell, the offensive coordinator for Pitt, is the son of Kerwin Bell, who's the head coach at Western Carolina. Western Carolina was replacing their all FCS quarterback, Cole Gonzalez, this past year. And they replaced him with a guy named Taron Dickens. Well, Taron Dickens today started his game against Wofford, which we hit, by the way, on Wofford in the points. 46 of 46. He went 53 of 56. So when it comes to the Bells, trust what the fuck they're doing at the quarterback. Because, oh my God. But anyway, back to Pitt. This guy balled out, and Boston College is fucking terrible. The Bill Belichick coaching tree right now with Belichick, Bill O'Brien, throwing Charlie Weiss, looking pretty fucking horrible in college football. But 48-7, Pitt routs them. My Pitt future to get to the ACC championship is still alive. Mac, they look good today. They look good today. You gotta give it up to them. Old
hey, why did they play that kid against us? I mean, Narduzzi will Narduzzi, and if Pitt wins the ACC, we can always look back and say they weren't tough enough to beat the old Gold and Blue. So that's all that really matters. When I saw the freshman was playing, I'm like, oh shit, Pitt's gonna roll because Holstein sucks. He's such a soft ass. Wow. I mean, he said he got punched in the West Virginia game. He didn't get punched. He just got hit in the mouth. Like, he's terrible. He's terrible.
It wasn't a fight. It was a dust-up.
No, it was a dust-up. I mean.
Well, they also didn't have Desmond Reed, who is like their best offensive player.
Yeah, I like Reed. So, I mean, Pitt's got talent. I mean, but can Pitt put it together consistently under Narduzzi? I saw Narduzzi earlier in the weekend heckled by the student section.
As he should. Yeah, I mean, that was a pretty hilarious outcome. Pretty hilarious outcome was Clemson, and shout out to Dabo, who
finally
he showed some class by not going. I knew when I was at ACC Media Days, him and Belichick seemed like they were fast friends. They caught off the dogs a little bit, but hey. I had Clemson minus 14.5. And a good day to you.
Contest play for Mac in the Box.
This was an alt line minus 20.5 for me too.
First play of the game was a 75-yard touchdown, if memory serves me correct. We got to talk about North Carolina here because, you know, I've always shit on these NFL coaches, and I see, shout out to 357, giving us some money. Colby and Mac, your thoughts about ties in the NFL? Ties should never happen in any sport.
Oh.
Any fucking sport. You go if you spend your time and money and effort watching the sport, whether you're at the game or watching on TV, you should have a winner and loser for every outcome, in my opinion. Yeah, so that overtime sucks. But speaking of NFL, these coaches, I've always shit on them when they come down to the college ranks because they have been awful over a 30 or 40 year stretch. Minus Pete Carroll and June Jones, I think, were the only two that I could really come up with.
Yeah,
that were good. Belichick might be setting the record for the worst one because, oh my good God.
They don't just lose. They get fucking blown out.
They looked like a MAC team today. And honestly, they look like, I mean, I'm not saying Ryan Mack.
That's disrespectful to the MAC.
The Mid-American Conference. I mean, this was unfucking believable. And I thought he could have made it worse. They had 488 yards. And I think Dabo called off the dogs.
He did.
Carolina had 270 yards. This, I think it was worse than the TCU game. The TCU game was pretty fucking bad, but this one was just, I mean, it was over within 5 minutes. 5 minutes of turning the game on, it was over.
It was 28-3 after one. I mean, that's ridiculous. I'm with you. Shout out to Dabo for not running it. I'm a big Belichick guy. I appreciate what he's done for the game. I like that he didn't run it up. I mean, what are you going to do? Beat him by 70? His team sucks. UNC is god awful.
I think they're the worst power. I think today solidified that they're the worst Power 5 with UCLA winning and Northwestern looking better. And I don't even know who else would be close to them right now.
Maybe the Mountaineers.
I still think you guys looked all right last night. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
Once that other quarterback got in the game for West Virginia, they actually looked okay.
Yeah, Belichick.
Okay.
Belichick just looks clueless over there.
He's just banging a 24-year-old. We've all been there before. Maybe even Mac right now. Who knows?
Yeah. Not as a 73-year-old, though. I've never been there before.
Yeah.
I'm only 32, but yes, 24s are nice.
Yeah. I mean, so I don't know that I can truly identify with
What an easy handicap, though. When Bill Belichick has never gone to Nantucket with anyone in his entire time in the NFL. How many times did he go on vacation on a bye week?
I thought he took Lawrence Taylor there one weekend in '87.
Yeah, well, if you're gonna go do cocaine, that's different than
they got a couple prostitutes.
Who's worse, North Carolina or OK State? I see the chat.
Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma State might be worse.
Oklahoma State's worse.
That's fair.
They're close. Those are the two worst.
I can tell you right now, Oklahoma State's worse.
I don't know.
I do.
Carolina looked bad against Charlotte, but I guess
I know. Charlotte's horrible.
I think that's fair. That should be a bowl game. I would pay money for that.
Yeah, that's the toilet bowl.
Coach Leach, may he rest in peace. One of my favorite things about talking to Mike Leach was he thought we should have a 64-team playoff, and everyone highlights that because I agree. Let's do that. 64 teams. Even though my perfect model was 32, but Leach wanted 64, and I think 64 is better than 12, right? But one of the genius things he had that no one ever talks about was he also wanted the remaining teams, which obviously fluctuates every year. So when I was having this conversation with Coach, it was probably 2019 or 20 or 21 maybe. And he wanted the remaining teams to play in a playoff at the same time. So if we'll say it was 130 then, right? So you get your 64-team playoff, right? And then you got another 66-team playoff, right? Yeah. For the worst team if you win, you're out. The loser advances. I mean, he had the
Leach was great.
midget toss. He had the midget toss as well that I thought was a great idea. Anyway, yeah, Clemson's still alive in this ACC race, this pesky ACC race.
Mac was right. Clemson's going to win out.
They're going to win out.
Help. They still need help, though.
Yeah,
Sure.
They need Virginia and Miami to lose games.
And two other teams too, buddy. Georgia Tech and Duke. Yeah.
And Duke, yep.
And I believe Georgia Tech, Virginia, and Miami don't play each other.
Yeah.
So they need help.
Because of these stupid conferences.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Kentucky, Georgia 35, Kentucky 14.
Push.
I mean, I turned this I turned it off when Georgia went up 14-0. I put it back on when Kentucky made it 21-7. Then Georgia quickly got it up to 28-7. I turned it back off. Yeah, Kentucky's terrible, but they're still a lot better than Carolina. I would lay 14 Kentucky against Carolina.
Oh yeah. Kentucky's beating Carolina. Good win for the Dogs. They got Auburn next week. That's a big fucking game for both teams, both programs.
Yeah, and then how about we had a field storming at Nippert in Cincinnati there, as the Bearcats 38, Iowa State 30. Credit to Iowa State for keep coming back. Weird final play where the guy just walks out of bounds. That
was weird. Hey, we need to address, why was everybody acting like that was a cheap shot on Rocco back? I get it. It was a face mask, but that was a football.
That was we've made it so bad.
Oh my god!
The only thing that helps the sport is that we have at least parity. But how did everyone? Oh my god! That's the way the game should be.
It's a bunch of people that never played football talking about what they think football should be.
They're like, he died. I go, he didn't die. He was back in 10 seconds later.
You don't know the speed that's occurring at. Like anybody that hasn't played,
it's
including all of us,
too.
if you haven't played college football, that speed is something that you can't even comprehend.
But still, when I was fucking growing up, that was a fucking normal play. That was like a normal fucking play.
I thought you were going to highlight the Tawee Walker truck stick. Why is that not targeting on the offensive player?
Well, look, I don't want it to be targeting on the offensive player.
No, but it should be.
Yeah, but based on their stupid letter of the law, it should be. But to me, it's just like, that was fantastic. That to me was like, it felt like I was in 1995 again, and it was just amazing.
That's what we want.
Yes, for sure. Especially now the players are paid.
If you don't want to get hit, play bowling.
Yeah, and the players are paid now. So your lame excuse before, although I think you had some decent excuses with the health insurance things. But I was reading about that safety at Washington. It's like, I know he broke his collarbone or had spinal issues, and after 3 years, they got rid of his health insurance. Spinal! Folks, what to tell you, the college football experience is brought to you by MyBookie.ag. MyBookie is your place to bet on football. I also bet the CFL today. That's what I mean, is football. You can do everything. Their prop builder is second to none. Their motto is bet on anything, anywhere, anytime over at MyBookie. You can easily deposit and get lightning fast payouts using crypto, so head on over to MyBookie.ag, and when you do, use our promo code TCESGPN for a 100% bet back bonus up to $500 for new customers. That's MyBookie.ag, promo code TCESGPN. We're also brought to you by NoVig. NoVig's America's #1 sports prediction market. Since NoVig is an exchange, you are getting some of the best prices in the market. And NoVig's available in 35 plus different states. Download the NoVig app and get $50 when you spend $5 if you use our promo code SGPN. Get in on the action with NoVig, promo code SGPN. All right. Iowa State, Cincinnati was the better team. I'm not going to make excuses, but I was all over not touching this game when I learned that 2 of their corners were out, as well as 2 of their kickers. So they kept going for it on 4th down.
Yeah.
Because their kickers both kickers were injured. So they had a 3rd-string kicker, so they elected not to kick a lot of field goals. But whatever, I thought Cincinnati kind of just Cincinnati's one to watch. Satterfield, you might give him a lifetime contract here.
I know. He's going to find a way.
He's definitely going to find a way. The next game. I mean, I guess UCF could be live. I mean, this is the best part about the sport right now. The sport is fucking thriving because you have, as much as the sport sucks with its rules, right? It's thriving as far as just you have talent super spread out. And there should be no narrative really about well, I don't want to get ahead of myself but Penn State being preseason top 10, or even if you voted them in the top 10 this past week, you are a piece of shit because they have beaten nobody. And there's another team that we'll talk about that has beaten nobody. And to me, basing your system off that is fucking terrible for the sport, especially this version of the sport. If you want to say, okay, well, in 1965 this worked, fine. But the sport has changed incredibly over the past 5 years. Shout out to
This is good.
So what you're saying is there should be a different process?
Yes. Different process.
Who?
But as far as what my votes are and what my process is, I wake up early in the morning after covering a game late in the night before. Don't want to go
I think I saw
too much
Mac
into my
with this girl, like,
process
a
or
week ago.
logic, but
she's not a Morgantown girl, dude. That's a girl who's living in the valley, and she tries to I told you, I know this girl. All right, I know her. I don't
You
know
have
her
a vertical
personally.
blind. You definitely
I don't know her personally, but I know that type. You're
Oh,
living in the valley. You're hanging out in fucking Beverly. You're occasionally go to Beverly Hills on Friday night. Pretend like you fucking know things. I used to bartend at the Beverly Hilton. You'd have these people come in and pretend like they're. You knew the really rich people. Majority of them would treat you like shit, right?
Classic.
But you would also have the people that come there just to be cool. You know what I mean? She's living in the valley. She'll jump over to one of these nice spots on La Cienega or something, or hit Beverly Hills, and then she's got to take that Uber before before the check comes. Right before the check comes back to the valley because she doesn't have air conditioning.
It's like the broad last night. It's like, hey, just shut up and take the shot. Nobody wants to hear about your process and all this bullshit.
Right. So look, today was phenomenal, and I want to shout out Carlton in the chat. Today you had just major games, big time upsets, 25-point dogs hitting, but you also had one of the best endings to a game you can get. Georgetown, the Hoyas with the Hail Mary.
That's not a Hail Mary.
The
That's just a
one-man
normal
Hail
pass.
Mary.
Yeah, it's just a go ball.
I mean, it was like Doug Flutie's pass to
It was awesome.
Yeah. Morgan State, Georgetown delivered. Absolutely delivered. If you didn't catch that, that should be SportsCenter. I don't know if it is. I didn't watch SportsCenter.
We're about to go through it right now, actually.
That's 99. But that should be top 10 play of the day. Georgetown, Morgan State, DC, Maryland. That's exactly what the rivalry needs. Georgetown, throw more money into football, motherfuckers. You should be a powerhouse. Back to Cincinnati looks good. And then this is part of the reason why I guess I was kind of upset with my day is because Kansas State lost to Baylor, and I had Kansas State on the money line. Did you get
I watched this entire game.
They had an 80-yard touchdown.
Yeah.
That was called back. I mean, they had a 17-point lead? Was it 17? 17-point lead or 15-point lead? I don't remember what it was. Like
14, 31-17?
Yeah, 31-17. How many minutes left?
That had to be what, like 8 or 10?
8 minutes. 8-minute mark. God damn. How did I lose this bet? I still had the points.
Players, bro.
I had the points. K-State, though, they should have had this, man. They had this is one. The wrong team won today. The wrong team won today because if you just look at this, 8 of 16 on third down, 1 for 1 on fourth, 501 yards of offense. Baylor, 3 of 10 on third and fourth downs, only 98 yards on the ground. K-State had 168. Only 4. I mean, got outgained by almost 100 yards. Right? Like, this was like, how the hell did you win this game? But Baylor does it. Dave Aranda, and he's done this with a couple wins. The SMU win was very similar. K-State, I think you can stick a fork in them, but they will be fucking up. Some of these teams that will be in contention will get their season fucked up. But, man, a lot of K-State fans I saw today on social media, they want Kleiman There's no
I
way
hate
you can
that,
fire Kleiman.
No.
You have to.
Yeah.
No.
You have to.
What do you mean you got to?
They're a much better program than that. This isn't Oklahoma State. You can get somebody to come to Manhattan.
They're gonna finish
Fourth and
7-5 though.
I mean,
Okay,
he won,
that's not good
won
enough.
a Big 12 championship 2 years
That's
ago.
not good enough in the Big 12. If you can't win 8 games in the Big 12 as Kansas State, that's rough,
No
man.
way. No, they can't.
And I understand that it's 1 year.
I
But
disagree.
That's what I'm saying. You can't fire him based on you got to hit refresh again. In my opinion, the Avery Johnson has not lived up to the hype.
how is he a 5-star?
Well, in similar vein, how was DJ Lagway? How is Arch Manning? We could go on and on and on. Is Baylor a real threat to get to the Big 12 championship?
Yeah. They have the best quarterback in the entire Big 12. They are a threat to get to the Big 12 championship.
I just
I've
find
been
them
telling
to
you
be
guys this
incredibly
for a
phony,
while.
though. I think they're a phony.
They're 100% phony.
Yeah.
Their defense
that's how you win the Big 12.
Their defense fucking low.
Mike Gundy has won 3 games since he was 1 yard away from winning the Big 12 championship with one of the craziest non-con losses in the season. The idea, the Big 12 is basically the MAC with better quarterbacks. Like the wackiness of it is nuts. There's nobody that's definitely better. You've got a bunch of the same coaching trees overlapping within those staffs. They all know what each other's trying to do. It's crazy. Sawyer executes better than any other quarterback in the Big 12. And they turn the ball over twice in the red zone.
Yeah, their next 3 opponents are TCU, Kansas, and Texas Tech. Although we'll talk about TCU in a minute.
They could go 0-3. They could go 3-0. Like there's no way to predict them.
They're gonna do what Kansas did last year and be a pain in the ass for all the Big 12 contenders.
Like they might lose 2 of those 3 games,
Texas
but they'll
Tech.
beat Tech. Yep.
They'll beat Texas Tech in Manhattan. That'll be cold. It'll be cold then.
Probably.
Dude, Kansas State is not bad. They just have lost how many 1-score games now?
Kansas State's not bad. They just have a quarterback.
A huge pick 6, Avery Johnson.
Yeah, they've got a quarterback that can't accept his role as Colin Klein. Just run the damn ball, dude. Jesus Christ.
That's another thing. Since they lost Colin Klein, and that's what the fan base, they're seeing Texas A&M, and they're saying that's one of our own. We can go hire him. That's probably making it worse, Mac, is the fact that I like Klein. I think he's a really good coach. I think he should be given the benefit of the doubt here. But at the same time, the problem is their old OC when they won the Big 12 championship.
Is that A&M?
And A&M looks really fucking good.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, A&M spends more money on their football team than Kansas State does.
And Will Howard won a natty last year. That didn't help either.
That's a good point.
Because Ohio State spends more money on their football team than Kansas State does.
True, but A&M spends more money on football than everybody. They win. They go 8-4 every fucking year. I mean, they haven't had a national championship since like 1920. There are examples of it going the other way.
Oh yeah,
yeah. We lost money on Purdue. I had Purdue plus 9.5, and I still felt like this was the right fucking side. But
so did I.
After a Taylor Swift album, come on.
Altmaier 390.
You know the Taylor Swift stat, right? Like every album release of Taylor Swift, Purdue gets blown out. They're now 0-10 after the Taylor Swift album release.
The
See,
Swifties
you gotta dive a little deeper. I know you're a deep diver, but you got to start listening to the Swifties on Twitter.
Well, that's the problem. Taylor
now
Swift,
that they're into football, they'll tell you all these football stats that you're not expecting to know.
Taylor Swift is the safety for FIU?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's so saying. Like I missed that nugget. I didn't know he was a rapper too.
That's on Kramer for not providing you the right content on the dating front.
I knew E Swift, not Taylor Swift, but guys,
shout out Taylor Swift.
Shout out E Swift, better than Taylor Swift.
Swifty,
do a deep dive. Shout out to the alcoholics. And I'm not talking about Moneyline Mac, but shout out to him too. Guys, Illinois is 5-1. They have Ohio State on deck.
Big game.
That's their season, right? That's their season.
Yep. If they want to make the playoffs, you got to win that game.
And we should just pretend that Illinois is Wisconsin with Bielema. They're the same team at this point. Like they're a little bit more offensively competent than Bielema's Wisconsin's teams were in terms of like air movement, but we know how this game goes.
Yeah. Purdue, what the hell happened in this game? Like, so when I was watching, I had this on one of the screens, but I was, I'll be honest, I was kind of captivated on how bad North Carolina was getting destroyed. I was like, they can't throw another touchdown right here. They can't. There's no way. And it was like, oh my God, a 70-yard touchdown. I was like, this is impossible. I can't believe this defense is that bad. The man coached defense his whole fucking life. Back to the Baltimore Colts in 1972, right? And you're telling me they can't stop this passing attack. And on my other screen was Illinois Purdue, and at one point Purdue was driving. It was like I think it was 10-7 the Illini. I got to rewatch this game throughout the week because I felt like Purdue was about to score a touchdown. And next thing I know, Illinois scores like 28 unanswered. And I'm like, what the fuck happened? What happened? If you look at the yardage, though, it was only like Illinois only outgained them by like, 52 yards. So that's why I think we should have been another. Dude, Illinois won the game going 2 for 12 on 3rd and 4th down.
I hate Illinois.
The stat sheet does not represent the outcome. Yeah. So we lost money there. I
didn't know about the Taylor Swift stat though, so that's not your fault.
That's true. Go FIU. I think I shared this nugget on social. Want to shout out the great Trent Dilfer. Want to shout out all that he's about. The modern game does not impress him. Well, Army won 31-13 today, and that makes Trent Dilfer 0-5 against triple option teams in his 2.5 years in Birmingham. He's lost by a combined score of 185-71. Mac, is he fired tomorrow morning when we wake up? Because we'll wake up probably at 4 o'clock.
He'll get the end of the year, but if you bet on UAB against a triple option team, you just need to go over there and just sit out for like a play. That's a horrible bet. You never bet on Trent Dilfer against Army, Navy, Air Force, any team that has a little bit of shit to them.
Well, when you look at the wins they've had, so they beat Alabama State by 10.
They're horrible.
In a game they were down double digits late in the third. They beat Akron by 3. We'll talk about the Zips in a minute. You look at the remaining schedule, I don't know that there's any wins there. He's going to get fired before the end of the season, I think. Shout out to the Black Knights. Jeff Munkin, good response after going to Greenville and getting the tar kicked out of you by the greatest university in the history of mankind. But
we did that on purpose.
Damn, that would have been when we played the song, but we can't now.
We knew what we were doing there, Colby. We bet Army so the ECU could win. We had a good night.
That was a classic junkies emotional hedge out of both of you. That's what you're supposed to do.
Perfectly.
You're both from the area. You know what to do.
Perfectly happy with that Thursday night. Mac, I think we have a problem because we should have known. I knew this. I actually went back and listened to this exact segment on the show from Wednesday because I should have trusted my instincts. I did not bet this game, but I knew it was the week of the Wacky Mac showing up. A lot of conference games. This is how the Mac goes.
Ball State
was down 14-0 and scored 20 unanswered, including like a crazy 50-yard touchdown pass that gave him the lead. And Ball State wins outright against Ohio. And now I have no idea who's winning the MAC. And now, I knew this, though. When I go, this line stinks.
Yeah.
I go, this is just the game Ohio loses. I've been watching MAC my whole life. I knew this was a classic MAC game. I just didn't have the cojones to lock it up. And I apologize to my clientele. If you dial 1-800-PICK-DUNDEE over the next 45 minutes, I will give you $3 off Jerry Subs and Pizza in Cleveland. So do that. But, Mac, this game was awesome. One of the better games of the day.
Jerry Subs and Pizza was awesome. God damn it, I miss Jerry Subs and Pizza. Sorry.
You get subs and pizza.
What's better?
Right? It's America, baby. This outcome was fucking ridiculous. 20-14. I mean, why didn't I just trust my gut, Mac? And I know we all took Ball State.
I ended up betting Ball State.
You bet it? You bet it?
I ended up locking it on the picks page. Dude, I was like, Ohio can't lay more than 2 touchdowns.
I knew I should have done it, dude. I knew. I was just like, this game is boring. It's just the game Ohio loses. You see this in the MAC every year, whether it's Ohio, whether it's Toledo, whether it's Bowling Green, whoever. You see this exact game, and here I got news for you. If you're new to following the sport, this game will happen like 5 more times this season in the MAC. It'll happen like 5 more times in the season. Unbelievable outcome. Troy, did you place a wager on Ball State by chance?
So I didn't place a wager on either one of the teams. To be honest, I was very worried for Mac when he was all about Ball State. And I know he said he wasn't going to place a bet, and I don't really check the
bets. And then I ended up doing it.
And you, of course, you end up doing it, but I couldn't come to anything other than, man, if Ball State really is going to win this game, I'm going to bet the under 45. And that motherfucker hit somehow. Man. Wacky Mac, dude. And not only is it coming, you're gonna have to tune into shows on like Sundays and Mondays because it's about to be Tuesday and Wednesday Mac time. Better get ready because some of these games are gonna be the greatest under parlays that you can place on a Tuesday night with Mac football.
Hey,
pay attention to the wizard.
And finally, we're gonna have weekday football this week, Colby.
Tuesday, Wednesday football, you mean?
Yes. Yeah.
No, I can't wait.
Well, Thursday's the weekend, right? So it's the only other weekdays.
I was actually bitter when I saw it in a way because I'm going to be at ACC basketball media days.
Oh, here's my part as CJ to be like, oh, Cobley throwing down, showing off, going to ACC media days, coming live from ACC media days.
No, I really was upset about that. I was like, why couldn't that have been last week? But I get your point, and that the validity to it. Bet Detective always like to call me out on my
throwing it out there. Going to ACC Media Days.
Yeah, Mountain West Media Days. We would make fun of that about 1 million times. Shout out to the Bet Detective. Happy birthday to CJ Sullivan, the Bet Detective, man.
Hey,
for real, happy birthday, CJ. His birthday. Looking live from CJ's 21st birthday.
If you're in Chicago, go catch him. Go catch him. And yeah. Okay, so part of the reason why I my day was not amazing was because my money line plays were just whiffing left and right. K-State should have hit, in my opinion. Well, so should have Air Force because Air Force missed a fucking 25-yard field goal? 25-yard field goal, and then Air Force had the ball at the Navy 40. At the Navy 40! When their dumbass quarterback does a late pitch and the ball gets deflected. Oh, my God. Now, I still took the points to cover my ass, but I also took the under, and the over hit.
Oh, 51.5?
This game was tough. I had 50. I even had the best of the fucking number, dude. I had 52.5, and I still lost. This game was chaos. This was an awesome rivalry game. No one could stop me. Like, first half, I was like, okay, we got this. We got this. I was a little mad about that missed field goal. It was a chip shot, but I thought the under is definitely going to cash here. Or I thought Air Force could win on the money line. Honestly, all up until like 1 minute left, I thought Air Force was going to win this game. I was like, Air Force cannot be stopped. If they get the ball, which they did, they limited Navy to a field goal, and then they started marching down the field, got to the Navy 40, but to Brian Newberry and Drew Cronick and Navy, and what they do, they make plays at the right time, and the midshipmen live on. But I still cashed my fucking 11.5 or 12, whatever it was. But Mac, did you catch this game?
I did. And Navy survives, and did Air Force fought? Air Force fought like we thought they would, and it's an academy game. You can't lay 2 touchdowns in these games, and fun game. So now Navy inside track to win the Commander-in-Chief trophy for a second straight year.
Yeah, my eyes are fucking killing me right now.
Yeah, I was actually worried about this over, Colby, because I wanted to take the over, believe it or not, just thinking the Air Force defense stinks. And I couldn't really come to taking the full over, so I took the Navy team total at 32.5. And man, that was more of a sweat than the real over was. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, no, we should actually talk about that for a second because Drew Cronick was a very wise hire by great name.
Ooh, spoke about weed.
Yeah, and great hire by Newberry because Newberry's first season he went like 5-7 or 4-8. I can't remember. But then he hired Drew Cronick, which was shocking news at the time. I host the FCS show, FCS College Football Experience, been doing that for years. And Mercer was coached by Drew Cronick. He was their head coach. And I thought that was an interesting hire because I was like, huh. Because they weren't running the triple, but I was like, how? And he has really, in my opinion, like made this offense unique. I actually think they're almost like must-watch TV. The reason why I say all this is because Blake Horvath has never had a 300-yard game prior to this year. He threw for 339 yards today. This is fucking Navy we're talking about here. And they're throwing out of triple sets, which I fucking love. Yeah, look, people make the assumption that I only love running like teams that run the football. No, I just love difference. I love difference. I love college football because it provides you difference. When you watch the NFL, you're watching all the same fucking offenses over and over and over. This is cool as fuck. If you watch some of the plays that they fucking run are awesome. They're very awesome to watch. Like I would say it's one of the most entertaining, in my opinion, like out of all the teams to watch today, I actually think they were probably the most entertaining team to watch the whole day based on just their formations and the shit that they were running out of these things. Very creative shit, very cutting edge shit. I wonder if any teams copy these things. So, but you don't see a Navy quarterback, not since fucking Roger Staubach, though, for 339, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Unbelievable. And how many times did he catch? What was Heinrich's stats out of the backfield? I got to look this up. Hang on. 8 for 243 and 3 touchdowns. No wonder why my DFS lost. Because some bastard must have rostered him. My DFS, dude, I came in thinking my DFS, I was like, dude, I did pretty fucking good today. Then I was like, I never checked the people in front of me, but I was like, how the fuck did I not hit for any cash? I was like, I feel like all my guys got like 20 points. Somebody must have had Horvath, because Horvath ran for another $130. Honestly, no one's going to do this because the world's fucking weak. He should be in the talk for Heisman Trophy. He just threw for 339.
Should have been last
year. For 130. That's
at least in the talk, absolutely.
Unfucking believable. How about that though, Heinrich? That many fucking yards receiving.
Taylor Swift.
Unbelievable. I heard that.
Rob Donaldson tweeted at me.
Oh, nice.
Who?
Rob Donaldson.
Oh, I thought you said Ron Palace.
Rob Donaldson.
No, Jerry from Jerry Subs and Pizza tweeted
my phone was on fucking on mute.
He said $5.99 large pizzas Monday night.
Mac and Bet Detective hit on this play.
Mac in the box.
Wisconsin getting 17. I stayed away from the shit. They covered, and Michigan didn't look good today. Michigan, Mac, did you catch this one?
Yeah, Michigan kind of went through the motions. Wisconsin scored on that early possession, and once they scored on that first one, I'm like, all right, they're going to cover 17.5.
Talk about it for a second.
I got you. I don't know how good Michigan is. Where are you going? Taking a shit over there? Troy, what did you think of Bryce Underwood?
I laid the 17.5 with Michigan and ate shit on this. I actually thought that Wisconsin was bad enough that there was a chance that this okay Michigan team would cover this number.
Yeah.
I don't know, 8 or 9 minutes into the game, I immediately turned around and rebet on Wisconsin to cover the live spread. So I lost, I don't know, $35 between like winning one and losing the other, both on minus numbers. 8 minutes into the game, you could tell right away.
Michigan has the wrong coach.
Yeah, wrong coach. And Michigan, with all the money they have right now, there could be a specific Michael Jordan ripped tank that they sell for like $800 to everybody else. The Biff Poggi ripped Jordan
Biff
tank.
Poggi, man. Bring back Biff Poggi.
If not, they could get Mike Gundy up there.
Who's Michigan got next?
USC in LA.
That's a loss. That's a loss. Yeah.
Are we sure?
I feel pretty good about that.
I mean, they're going all the way over there, so I understand why. But tree huggers,
I
Ann Arbor, you have to think about it. Ann Arbor, trees, tree huggers.
That's a loss. Hey, I finally hit a money line play, guys. Mac, I think you went with me if memory serves me correct.
Who we got?
Temple 27, UTSA 21.
Killer.
Let's go.
Dude, he's a good coach.
Great dance after with the players. I mean, I was all over this one, money line play. I feel like my other money lines, like Air Force and K-State, should have hit, but at least this one hit. And I'm telling you right now, Temple is going to fuck over these people. Navy has Temple next week.
In Philly.
ECU plays Temple. Tulane plays Temple. North Texas plays Temple. Temple will fuck over many of their seasons.
Yes.
That's
they're
right now.
100%.
They're going to go bowling this year. They will go bowling, and they will fuck over some of their seasons. They are better. UTSA, true disappointment. Jeff Traylor, I love you for staying at UTSA, but if you ever thought you were going to be an SEC coach, I think that window might have passed. You know what I mean? Like that.
Maybe when the SEC expands to 32 teams.
Maybe that. Huge win for Temple. And then I ate shit. I had a lot of money on Virginia Tech today. The ACC teams fucked me today, with the exception of Clemson. Virginia, in my opinion, like I thought Virginia Tech could have won this game. Now, I know I say that as a team that only scored had 263 yards of offense, and Wake Forest had 347. But if you watch this game, like me, I actually had this on the main for a good portion of that good first half, I would say. Virginia Tech's dumb. That's my analysis. 2 gigantic third down stops. They I normally defend almost every roughing the passer case. No, not this one. They had a terrible roughing the passer that was completely unnecessary. And they also had a terrible late hit, which it wasn't really a late hit. They would never call it in football in the 80s or something, but it was still dumb because the guy was 5 steps out of bounds. And it was like, why would you even put your hands on the fucking guy? And they extended both those drives, and Wake Forest got touchdowns on both those drives. So I like to think in an alternate universe, that was 2 punts to Virginia Tech, and we win that game 23-16. But no, they were dumb, and they got down big because of that. And,
How ahead of schedule is Wake Forest?
Dickert's doing a good job.
Dude, Dickert's a good coach.
Honestly, they should be 4-1.
I know.
Honestly, they were up double digits on NC State at halftime.
They might be able to be 5-0. Yeah. I'm with you, man. I mean, they've played NC State and Georgia Tech at home.
Probably should have lost to Kennesaw week 1, though. But yeah, very impressive to go on the road and grab a win like that. NC State destroyed Campbell. We don't need to talk about that. Western Michigan destroyed UMass. Mac, how are you feeling about your?
It's a loss. I'm already on the basketball season. Go Minutemen. I mean,
well, no. You can't say that yet because Kent State's on deck.
All right, that's one. And I mean. Beanick and Capper had the nerve to pick UMass in the bottom half in basketball and the MAC. I mean, us Minutemen, we're coming in the MAC, baby.
Well, Beanick takes it personal because he's like, Toledo's 45 minutes away.
I'm like, hey, Beanick, Francisco Martin's been to the motherfucking Final Four. They're like, fuck your Michigan schools. We're coming in to fuck you up.
You got to look out for Kent State,
Beanick doesn't even like the Michigan schools. He likes Toledo of all.
He doesn't know what he likes.
I'm confused. Yeah, he doesn't like Eastern Michigan. He doesn't like Central. Doesn't like
he tweets
Western.
out Michigan hockey highlights in the middle of a football Saturday.
What's wrong with that guy?
He's kind of a front runner. The more I think,
you got to look out for Kent State, Mac. The Golden Flashes held the backup quarterback at Oklahoma to 44 points under their team total by a point. Way to go, Kent State.
Beanick needs to get laid. What's going on over there?
That LeBaron should be getting a mad pussy. It's crazy that he's not.
He needs to get a blowjob.
Maybe he's getting laid, and that's the reason why he likes Toledo.
Ah,
so
it's actually the Bill Belichick syndrome. He's getting laid too much.
Yes, he's making that trip because he's passing by Ypsilanti and Mount Pleasant and Kalamazoo, and he's like, "Fuck these towns. They never show me pussy." Right? I go to Toledo.
I get
boom,
pussy.
Scattered ass.
Hello, Rocket. Boom.
Dan Savage has introduced me to all the pussy in Toledo. All right. I walk into the local watering hole. What do you think Beanick orders at the bar?
Soda water with a lime.
Yeah, no, you don't know. He does something cool. He's probably like Coca-Cola rocks. 2
Kool-Aid.
2 cubes.
2 cubes. Yeah, 2 cubes. 2 cubes.
Oh, fuck you.
It's like, do me a favor. Give me a Sprite. 80% of the way.
Splash of grenadine.
Yes. That's called a Shirley Temple. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
Not in my world, sweetheart.
I hope he's railing Sally in that LeBaron.
Do me a favor. Now, do me a favor. Give me 2 of the cherries back there. Sitting there for a week.
The darkest ones in the jar you can find.
It shows off the rocks again. Here we go.
I was going to say, Colby, by the way, the Georgetown game-winning touchdown one-man Hail Mary was number 6 on the SportsCenter.
How's that not number 1?
Number 1 was the Baylor catch.
No, Georgetown should have been number 1.
That Georgetown one should have been above that.
They stormed the field. They actually stormed the field. Better storming.
Do you have the video?
Georgetown better storming than UCLA. Arizona 41, Oklahoma State 13. Glad I didn't bet on that because
this is Nick Slide Sullivan. Go ahead, move on.
Yep. As an Oklahoma State fan, Troy's an Oklahoma State fan, and are you donating to their NIL collective?
You better not be.
Strawberry.
Fuck that school.
It feels like when they had the opportunity last year to put the QR code on their helmets for the NIL donations, and then they were like, nah, nix that. That was their only chance to get money. And then now everything's gone south. No Gundy. Nobody cares.
Nobody
T-Boone
cares.
Pickens is dead. He's not even watching from heaven. He's like, this team sucks. They fired my boy Gundy. Fuck them.
Actually, I heard they kind of hated each other, but they were still cool at the same time. There was like a mutual respect because he played quarterback, but like
you were good. You give me money.
But I read an article like they couldn't be in the same room together.
Probably because Mike Gundy's a real person.
Billionaire bitch.
Yeah, Mike Gundy's a real person. And
goddamn Perriers. He's drinking his Perriers.
Just another weekend in Stillwater, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, pretty much.
Syracuse somehow covered against SMU, even though that SMU was up 24-3. Fran, that's one way to get the NIL collective going. All right, now let's get to the biggest bullshit. And I'm so upset about this because of this nonsense. Oh no, I gotta wait for him to fucking come back now, you motherfucker. Let's talk about Northwestern putting it on ULM.
Yeah, when is their last Lakeside game?
I think it's next week because CJ said he was going.
And that's when they play.
No, it's 2 weeks. 2 weeks. They play Purdue on October 18th. The Bet Detective will be there. He's also doing the Adam Sandler gig at the United Center. So if you're in
Chicago, the lowly UC in downtown Chicago.
Yeah, that's a good venue. I never got a venue like that doing stand-up. I was more of your bowling alley type comic. Nothing like delivering a punchline when someone throws a fucking strike. But shout out to the Bet Detective. He'll be at those spots, man.
This one was weird because Northwestern was laying points.
It was just a stupid game from the start. No, they weren't laying. Or yeah, they were laying. What were they laying? 11.
Like 11. Yeah, it was so weird to see Northwestern laying that many points. But I mean, it makes sense.
When's the last time Northwestern had over 500 yards of offense besides today?
They earned their Big Ten share today.
Maybe like during World War II when there weren't many other players around and Northwestern was able, because I'm sure they were unionized then already.
Well, they had Otto Graham at one point.
Oh, true.
That. Yeah, that's probably
only guy to lead the league in punting, pass yards, and rush yards all at once.
Hold on, Mac. You left like a sandbagging son of a bitch that you are.
Had to take a leak.
Well, I want to talk shit to you because you had the luckiest fucking cover today.
Roll Tide.
Oh my god! And I'll be honest. I think if they play this on a neutral, Vandy wins because Vandy was the better team the first half. I'll tell you the turning point. Diego Pavia scores to go up, it wasn't him who scored, but they went up 14-7. He already had one turnover in the red zone. There's a minute and like 55 seconds in the first half.
Yeah.
And Ty Simpson goes like 6 for 6. That momentum behind the home crowd. I thought right then when they tied it up, I go, man, Vandy might have just lost the game. And that's what exactly happened. But this score is deceiving. This was a 20-14 game a lot of the second half. Credit to Alabama. They were the better team, especially the second half. But I believe Vanderbilt was better in the first half. I believe they were the much better team in the first half. And I do think on a neutral, it would be very interesting because I thought the momentum of that crowd played a big role when they got those 2 field goals, when they got them stacked back. And Diego's interception was really bad in the red zone. Really bad interception. But the fumble was Diego being Diego. That doesn't happen much.
Yeah.
That's why I think if you play that again, that's a touchdown on that drive. Or a field goal at least. And then the game's script is completely different because you're talking about potentially 17-7 or 17-14 going into the half. But credit to Alabama. Ty Simpson did play phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
But I do want to see a rematch, and I'm hoping we do see a rematch at some point because
I'm going to co-sign everything you just said. I bet Alabama just because it was in Tuscaloosa.
Cover was horseshit.
It was, and 100%. And I had people, and I bet Alabama. I had people tweeting at me like shitting on Pavia, and I'm like, do you realize the impact this dude has put on this program? We just had College Game Day and the spotlight of college football on a fucking Vanderbilt game. And they were competitive, man. Like Alabama had a backdoor phony cover. You're right. If they played that on a neutral field in front of a non-Alabama crowd, I think Vanderbilt could get them again. But I mean, it's hard to go into Tuscaloosa, man.
That's true. And that was I honestly didn't.
Vandy's good.
I didn't think Vanderbilt would win the game. I thought they would cover.
Yeah.
And I believe on a neutral they can actually win the game. I still believe that. And I will say Diego did play a terrible game. Like for his standards.
Yeah.
The fumble, he was going for an extra yard.
It was so close.
Yeah.
That's what he does though. He reaches the ball out every time. That's like how he plays football.
The interception, I'm betting if they play again, he doesn't make that pass. The interception was a really bad interception. Really bad. He didn't see. I think I don't want to speak for him, but I think he thought it was the ref. It was the ref because he threw it into triple coverage in the middle of the field. It was a really bad throw.
I think Alabama's the best team in the country. So for Vanderbilt, I
have them winning the Natty preseason.
I love Alabama.
I don't.
But that's why today even sold me more on Vanderbilt. I think Vanderbilt's the real deal. Like Vanderbilt is college football playoff good. That team is good.
Absolutely.
And Pavia is a fucking motherfucker. He's a tough son of a bitch, man.
Dude,
I love that dude.
The entire group of Alabama fans at Walters today, after they won the game, were doing a "fuck Diego Pavia" chant. This motherfucker was playing at New Mexico Military Institute 4 years ago. And the entire Alabama fan base already hates him.
It's great.
That's the greatest come up you could ever ask for.
Football.
And to Will Davenport's point, Eli Stowers, their tight end that will go probably in the first or second round, had a bad game too. He dropped a few passes.
This was the first time I felt like Pavia was trying to do too much, to be completely honest. And I know that he has to do a lot for that team, but this really felt like the first time he was trying to take it all on his shoulders. And, if you're going to beat Alabama, there's points and times that you have to do that.
Well, you can't turn the ball over in the red zone. That was part of my handicap. Diego Pavia has been incredible at not turning the ball over, really, in his college career. You'd have to go back to his first year at New Mexico State, not military, Mexico State, for it to be where I thought he would not turn the ball over, right? And those 2 turnovers to me are the difference in the game. I actually think the game's in overtime, if not. If he does not fumble or throw the pick when they do that, it's 20-20 in the fourth quarter, and then it's anyone's game, and I probably think the game goes to overtime. Maybe Alabama wins because of the crowd, right? But those turnovers were very, very critical, especially because of the yardage. Both were inside the 20. You can't do that. But what I will say, Mac, and as someone that picked Alabama to win the Natty, I don't think they can with that run defense. I don't think they can. I think that run defense was lit up today. Surprised they only ran the ball to Alexander 4 times. I am very concerned about the run defense of Alabama moving forward. Like, that's 3 games now, Florida State, Georgia, and Vandy, where they could get major yardage. And to me, one of the things looking back on this game, I think Vanderbilt, if they play them again, they're going to say, we didn't run enough.
Agree.
Alexander averaged 19 yards a rush. Pavia averaged 4.8 yards a rush. They should have focused more on the run.
The counterpoint, not a lot of teams run the ball enough in college football, though.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Vanderbilt's a throwback team, man. I love this Vandy team.
The real turning point was when they overturned the targeting call, and then Alabama immediately scored a touchdown to make it 14-14.
But
that was a chance for Vanderbilt to flip it.
Though.
Yeah, of course.
Right.
Oh, 100%. That wasn't targeting. But for the fact, like, that was your chance. The crowd was all pissed off. You had the chance to get off the field, and instead it completely flips and they score a touchdown. And now the crowd is fully back into it, and you've gotten yourself into the issue in Tuscaloosa is they can't keep fans in the stadium. They all leave at halftime.
Well, my thing was this, man. I was looking, I'm like, Alabama's been super impressive the past 2 weeks. Like, I'm not shitting on them. I'm shitting on their run defense, which is a big element, though. I just don't know. So they had the benefit of being at home, and they had the benefit of playing Georgia, and I still don't know how good Georgia really is, right? I think they're all right, but
10-2. I mean, they're solid.
I'm saying Florida State looks like a 6-6 team to me.
Yeah.
And Florida State ran for 250 yards against Alabama.
Yep.
Well, guess what? You play a Missouri team that can run the ball, and you're in Columbia, Missouri, right? You play a bunch of other teams that I think later in the schedule. Now, I remember Alabama's schedule being favorable, like at South Carolina. I think they have. I don't know how much fear South Carolina strikes in you, but I just don't know that game in, game out with that bad of a run defense. This is a game they got up because they lost to Vanderbilt last year, and they did a documentary on this shit where Diego Pavia is saying shit about Alabama. I don't know that you can go week in, week out with that bad of a run defense and survive. They play Oklahoma later, right?
Yeah.
I just don't know that you can do that. I had them winning the national championship. I still think they're extremely talented. I just think that you live by that. You're going to get exposed at some point. Maybe it's in the playoffs, but you're going to get exposed for that at some point, in my opinion.
What do we think about Vandy going forward, man?
I think they can make it to the playoffs.
I mean, all right. So what? We got LSU and Missouri at home.
I think they can win those games.
They
could also lose them.
Yeah, I think they'll probably split those 2 games. Maybe win both. Then they're at Texas. Then they got Auburn.
I think they're better than Texas, but it matters the development of Arch Manning.
Yeah. Then they get Auburn, Kentucky, and at Tennessee. What do they got to do? If they go 4-2,
they just got to get to 9-3.
If they go 9-3 and their losses are what? At Alabama, at Texas, and at Tennessee, they're in. They're in.
But I think they can. I actually think they're a better football team than
that
Texas.
Team that loses those 3 games shouldn't be eligible to win a national championship in college football.
What?
This just speaking out loud. That's bad. If you lose those 3 games, you should not be eligible to win the national title.
I don't know.
Again, I'm a BCS proponent. I love 1 versus 2, and that's that.
I hate that. We disagree greatly.
I like 30 good bowl games, though. I don't like 5 good bowl games.
Yeah, well, I mean, the bowl games are all manipulative anyway. You know what I mean? Like, they would put bullshit bowl games. They pass over what Mike Leach had Washington State at 10-2. They put them in the fucking. They should have been in the Orange Bowl, but they would pass over them because they knew ticket sales. They're all corrupt. They've all been fucking corrupt.
That's
me,
the point of the money being involved for sure.
well, that's why you need to cast a big net and have a large playoff. To me, is because the corruption is so strong to negate the corruption.
But then it's just MLB playoffs. The hot team wins, not the best team.
No, I disagree because I think in football, you just the best team is the best team.
Cream rises, yeah.
I don't follow baseball good enough to have a passionate take on the MLB if the best team wins or not, because there's also 162 fucking regular season games, which is the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. And you don't even have every team play each other, right?
Now they do.
Okay, well, see,
it only took like 140 years, but
but back to my point, like I think Vanderbilt has a shot to make the playoff. Like I walk away today going, Vanderbilt's not a fraud. That is not a fraud team.
I knew they weren't a fraud. If anything, it was uncharacteristic that they turned the ball over 3 times.
Agree.
Because they don't normally do that.
It was kind of like a stepping stone that the typical teams that are trying to break through, they have to have that loss where they, the 2 or 3 mistakes, you're like, we could have won this game, but we screwed ourselves out of it.
Now, the hard part is can you get back up and beat an LSU team that has a bye week? Because I think that's a very sneaky game because LSU, I almost feel like LSU's in a great spot because it was a dream crusher thing. They kind of centered their season around beating Alabama in Tuscaloosa because they haven't done it since the 80s, right? And so I actually think this next game is probably the biggest game left on their schedule because I think they should have beat Missouri at Missouri last year. I believe they're just better than Missouri. Texas, I don't think Texas is a good football team by any means right now.
No.
I think the defense is solid and the offense is trash. And, the best play caller in the sport can't call a good play.
You should transition right into that game.
You should get right back on the beer.
Such a lazy fucking the amount of times I've heard people on TV say, Steve Sarkisian's the best play caller in the sport. There's a way to judge. It's like you're playing a video game and you've selected the Tecmo Bowl. You've selected the exact play where he's got the least amount of play picks in his career. So that makes him the best play caller. It's such a lazy fucking take. It's such a lazy take, dude. I can't stand it. But I want to talk before we get to that game about Appalachian State cashing for me against Oregon State. This game was awesome.
Double lock.
Oh my dude, we got lucky.
Yo, shout out to Oregon State for playing as hard as they are, getting left behind, no conference, and they're still fucking trying every goddamn week. I know this is loser talk, but shout out to Oregon State for giving a shit about college football.
Dude, they had a 1st and goal at the 3 to win the game.
I know.
And App State held them.
Mm-hmm.
This game was awesome. Shout out to App State. They cashed me. I thought we were going to lose on it. And shout out to Eastern Michigan we cashed on. The Wacky Mac almost delivered an outright winner. Buffalo wins because EMU goes for 2. I don't know that I agree with going for 2. I don't know that I agree for going, on the first overtime. I don't know that was the right play. But Chris Creighton, you're a millionaire. I'm an idiot.
It feels weird that every coach coaches to delay the inevitable as long as possible and then to go for 2.
Yeah, we
why would
cashed.
you? Sorry.
No, you're good. We cashed on that, but it was like, dude, Buffalo was completely weary of Buffalo in the MAC. EMU is going to be a tough out every single time. And then this one cost me the most money today. Virginia 30, Louisville 27.
Dude, Virginia is the real deal. I hate the tiki torches. My mom is a UVA grad. She goes, "You want to go to the Wazoo game?" And I'm like, "Fuck, I hate Virginia. I hate that Virginia's good."
Dude, I think they can get there.
They're gonna get there. They're gonna be favored in all the remaining 6 games.
Well, the Wazoo, no, I don't know, not the Duke game, but the Wazoo game.
Where's that game? Is it
in Durham? It's in Durham.
Okay, yeah, there'll be a dog in that game.
But Wazoo is next, coming to Charlottesville. Then they take on Chapel Hill. But I should note, this is where Patty C says, Patty C, lifelong Virginia fan. He actually educated me on this, to his credit. I know most know him as a drunken fool, and we love Patty C.
We love Patty.
He knows fucking ball. And Patty C would always say, dude, never take the favorite in the Carolina-Virginia game. And I started to pay attention to this like 10 years ago. And he's fucking right.
Yeah.
Because the dog wins like 90% of the time in that matchup, right?
It's a rivalry.
Yeah.
It's a
Oldest
private
rivalry in the
school
South.
pussy rivalry.
Yeah. No. Oldest rivalry in the South. And then the Georgia-Auburn's the oldest rivalry in the Deep South.
Yeah.
That game is a little scary. It's in Chapel Hill. Then from there, they go to Berkeley. I think they're going to win in Chapel Hill based on the Carolina that I saw today. The Berkeley game I'm scared of. Then they're home to Wake, and then at Duke, and home to the Hokies. Dude, they should be favored. In my opinion, they're probably favored in all but one. Unless, I could see them being a short dog at Cal, potentially.
So it's all going to come down to the last game of the year, and Virginia Tech's going to keep them out.
That'd be fantastic.
That's exactly what we want. Well, to be honest, if Virginia Tech didn't blow the game today, it was still live to see UVA Virginia Tech and then replay a week later.
Well, another thing is Virginia doesn't have any losses.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
The NC State. Well, and the NC State loss was kind of not a fluke loss, but they outplayed NC State that day. They're good. They're good, man.
It's almost like looking at how bad Clemson is and seeing Venables' defense at Oklahoma and Tony Elliott's offense at UVA really played into what Clemson was doing, huh?
Hey, Colby, I love Braum. Braum's bad as a favorite.
Dude, they play bitch ball, dude. That's the worst part about taking Braum is he's got a little bit of, like, part of the reason why I hate ECU.
Next ECU coach, Braum. Write it up.
Well, look, and I took Braum all the time. People probably know me on this show as like Purdue fans probably do. I don't want to put my ego on the fucking moon, but I'm saying Purdue fans, I called for like the money line against Ohio State when they blew out Ohio State. I was on that. And I don't think a lot of people were, but Braum plays bitch ball.
He's good as a dog.
He's very good at bitch ball. Like when they play Miami in 2 weeks, I think they're live.
Yeah.
But also, game in, game out, that type of bitch ball it's similar to ECU's coach. I think ECU's coach will get them bowling as long as they're running this cha-cha-cha shit. It'll get them, because ECU has better athletes than a lot of the AAC, in my opinion. Like, they actually get a better athlete than a lot of the conference. So I actually think the bitch ball will work. But anytime you play anybody that is on the same level as you, you'll get exposed for the bitch ball that you play. For ECU. For Braum, I think he can scheme up in the biggest games, but the problem is being that pass happy and that non-physical, it'll bite you sometimes. You're that predictable that your turnovers happen. And you see it, but they'll get up and beat Notre Dame, or they'll beat Miami or whoever. It's a double-edged sword, but I do worry that, like, eventually Louisville fans will get tired of that. And they'll say, hey, we spend more. We should be beating these teams, especially when they're in our fucking house. Your thoughts on that game, Mac?
I mean, I ended up betting Virginia. I'm impressed with Virginia. I think Tony Elliott. You know what's crazy, though? I looked back. The last 2 years before that, they had covered every Louisville Virginia game had been a one-possession game, and Elliott did not have any dudes then. Now they invested in their team, the portal. I mean, that's a hell of a win, man.
Dude, to be honest, like, the more you dive into it, the more confusing it is. Because honestly, the 2 defensive touchdowns by Virginia were the game.
Yep. It's on the side over here. I mean, that
UVA
that's like that Miller Moss, a little pitchy woo-woo. Like, what the fuck was that?
And let me tell you, if you watch that game, Miller Moss missed I think it was Chris Bell, but it could have been Colin Lacey.
Yeah.
He missed a deep ball that was severely underthrown. That was, it wasn't intercepted, but it was a sure bet touchdown early in the game. Virginia only had 237 yards of offense and won on the road. That is why you cannot give up 14 points defensively.
Yep.
Shout out to Tony Elliott, man. I really like Tony Elliott. After I felt like meeting him at ACC Media Days, like he was, I would say, one of the nicer coaches, I would say. Not to say they were dickheads, but I felt like he was more appreciative of the press than perhaps some of the others.
Hot seat.
Yeah.
Not anymore. Not anymore.
That's fair.
Not anymore, though.
He was always kind of like that at Clemson as the OC, though. I will tell you that out of all the Clemson fans that I know, they weren't that upset when they lost Venables, but they were fucking mad when they lost Tony Elliott. And to me, that spoke pretty loud. Well, of course, but it spoke very loud of if you can make Taj Boyd win 10 games for 3 years, you must know something about offense. And no hate on Taj Boyd. He played in the NFL, but
yeah, no, I get your point.
There's a lot of quarterbacks in this college football entire landscape that could really use a Tony Elliott. Like Steve Sarkisian's supposed to be a good play caller. Tony Elliott's a better play caller than Steve.
Are we at the Sarkisian game yet?
No, but I don't even know how to.
I'm trying to lead to that, Mac.
I don't even know how to dissect that. Like the better play caller, I don't even think there's a. I think that's all.
No, it's crapshoot.
More shit for television. You know what I mean? Like I just think like, what do you mean better play call? I mean, I don't.
Guys still have to execute one way or the other.
Yeah. The Wacky Mac delivered because Akron beat Central Michigan 28-22. The Zips. Of course, the 1 year I don't bet their win total over or don't bet them at all. They're probably going to hit that over. 28-22. They get it done. The MAC is fucking just the most hilarious conference. Also, we cashed on Georgia State, Mac.
Dude, this is a game.
This was a game. JMU scores late in the fourth.
Was this 6.5 when you guys bet it?
The spread?
Yeah.
No, it was 19.
19, yeah.
Against Georgia State?
James Madison, right?
Yes.
I guess when I looked at it, it must have been a live number.
Maybe first half. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. This was never a sweat. I mean, if anything, Georgia State was up 7-0. I feel like a lot.
Yeah, I thought for a second they were going to win outright.
UConn, you might have heard Jim Moore on the intros, smashed FIU 51-10. That was the UConn we were all expecting over the past few weeks. Glad to see they did that when we did not bet them. And, folks, I want to tell you, the college football experience is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Underdog's a great place to play fantasy pick'em where you can win 500 times the amount of money you enter. Simply pick higher or lower in your favorite player stats, and they got a ton of different sports, too. So jump on over there, and they got a brand-new offer for new customers. Play just $5 and get $100 in bonus funds when you sign up with our promo code TCESGPN. So do that and let it ride. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Rhythm's off to a fantastic start in college football, and they just introduced a new leaderboard with weekly cash prizes just for tracking your bets in the app. Track 5 bets of the same type from any model that you build, and you could win $1,000. So jump on over there. Use the promo code SGPN25 when you download the Rhythm app. That's RITHMM, and you get 25% off your first month. Download Rhythm and use the promo code SGPN25. All right, next up. We're almost there, guys, but first, I lost money on Northern Illinois because Miami, Ohio did have Daquan Finn, and Miami, Ohio did beat the shit out of Northern Illinois.
Chucky Martin, baby.
Dude, Northern Illinois was up 14-0 in the first, and I was like...
Just like Cal was.
Yeah, very similar, actually. Very similar. Yeah. Shout out, dude, man. Northern Illinois is going to go in the Mountain West on like a 2-10 season. Shout out to Chuck Martin in there. And then the most hilarious game of the day, perhaps, might have been this. Because what if I told you, like the ESPN 30 for 30 shit, what if I told you Maryland was up 20-0?
I know.
20-0 at the 3-minute mark in the third quarter. And they lost the game 24-20. You would say, hey, that's Mike Loxley. And they had everybody out that, man. They had a sellout. They had the underdog guy, or not underdog. What's Under Armour? They had the Under Armour guy there saying, man, this is fucking phenomenal what we're doing here. This is the most hilarious loss of the day to me. Because, I mean, I guess you could say Penn State, but this one, just because you were up 20-0 and you like, how do you lose at home in front of a sellout crowd up 20-0 in the biggest? I mean,
they won't win another game. That was it. That was it. I mean that was the Maryland that we joked about. I'm pissed that Washington didn't cover, but they didn't deserve to cover. Maryland will play Nebraska next week. That'll be a loss. Then they'll go to UCLA.
Although they could win that. They could win that game.
They're gonna lose because it's Loxley.
They'll find a way to. But dude, I watched Nebraska today. I don't think they're any good.
I don't think they're very good either.
Yeah.
Then they got UCLA out there out west. That'll be a loss. Then they got Signetti, loss at Rutgers. Maybe they could win that. But at Illinois, Michigan.
I don't think they can win at Rutgers. I'll take Rutgers.
Maryland won't win another game, and it'll be fantastic because
how do you lose this game?
I love watching Maryland, the Terps tour.
This sums up their entire program.
So yeah, their fan base is so arrogant too, like entitled. It's fantastic that they lost the way they did today. It was hilarious.
It is hilarious. Very
hilarious.
I was gonna say, from a local standpoint, they love Loxley. They at least get local recruits to go to Maryland instead of somewhere else, which makes sense.
Not the right ones, though.
Well, they're kind of at that point where they've got to get the dude that can call plays well and organize a team well, because they've started how many years in a row? 3-0, 4-0, 3-0, 4-0, and then just. And you can tell that it's all coaching.
Villanova, FAU, and
well, yeah, of course, but you can tell it's all coaching. Like this is a game where they were playing better than the other team, and the coach made decisions to lose them the game.
Anybody that has a 20-0 lead at the 3-minute mark in the third quarter in all of college football should win that game, especially when you're at home.
Kent State could have won that game.
You would think. Let's talk about the next one, because the greatest play caller in the history of the sport. You know, Saban had him employed because he's the greatest play caller. He's the greatest play caller. This lamest fucking. When I listen to a podcast that says this, it makes me turn it off. You know, Sark, he's the greatest play caller in the game. What does that even mean? It reminded me of an old Miller Lite commercial that they would talk about. Well, you know, we have the best drinkability.
Yeah, it's the greatest marketing
scam
of all time.
I remember listening to that. First, I was like, is that even a fucking word? And then I was like, what, drinkability, Miller Lite, what? It's more drinkable?
I think that got added to Merriam-Webster because of Miller Lite, by the way.
Drinkability. It's like you're just making shit up.
Do you remember when they did the vortex part of the long mouth, like the long mouth bottles, and they did the little swirl so you could drink the beer faster?
And was that the drinkability?
I guess it improved the drinkability that was already there, but
I don't know. I just know that shit was just so lame to me. It was like, it's a subjective fucking. I understand, like, I don't know. The Sark thing drives me crazy because I actually think the guy, for being at Washington, USC, and Texas, I don't think he's a very good head coach. I think, I've said this before, Chris Del Conte is an athletic director that I do believe is a very good athletic director. Anywhere he goes, I think he knows how to put football in the best place to win. Now, he did hire Steve Sarkisian, so credit there. But I also think he probably hired him because he was like, Alabama's OC, you can get recruits. They have the money. That will work. Do I actually believe he sat down and says, this guy can win us games? Is he a cutting-edge coach better than the next? I don't believe that. Texas loses to Florida 29-21. And I'll be honest, this is a misleading score because they got their ass whooped today.
Killed.
Yes. Texas got destroyed on the line of scrimmage. They were 3 for 11 on 3rd and 4th down. The game should have never been this close, but Florida got a little tight towards the end. They outgained it by over 100 yards. Texas could not do anything. Their offensive line got completely bitched today.
Yeah, Colby, if you're looking at numbers, do you have any like false starts on the Texas O-line or just penalties in general on the Texas team?
Penalties 10-7 against Florida.
Most of the penalties on Texas were false starts. from what – I mean, I was watching most of the game. There were 2 or 3 other games on. And every time I would look up, it seemed like somebody on the offensive line was jumping early on Texas, and Arch would catch the snap, and they'd be blowing it dead. And all I'm thinking is, man, this is the swamp. This is the game that you attribute to the win-loss total of the Florida Gators to the fans at the swamp. This is the swamp showed up today.
Yeah, but at the same time, you're right. You're right.
Like, Texas stunk, but the swamp showed up.
Of course, and the swamp always kind of shows up. It's a great place. It's college football 101, right, for a great college football venue. But this is where I go back to our Penn State conversation, where I was saying earlier, anyone that ranked Penn State in the top 25 last week should have their passes revoked from ranking.
Same with Texas.
And this is exactly the perfect parallel. Texas has beaten San Jose State, UTEP, and Sam Houston State. Sam Houston State is probably the worst team in college football in the FBS. The San Jose State game, okay, I'll give you a tiny bit of validity, but not really. UTEP, you won by 17 against a UTEP team that is currently sitting there at 1-4. This team's not good, all right? And that's why I think Michael Hawkins, if he starts at Oklahoma next week, will beat Texas, regardless of if Mateer plays or not. I think I'm just curious, guys, when you watch Texas play, like, how many wins? I don't think this is a good football team. Now, luckily, the SEC was nice to them schedule-wise, like always.
Always.
I think they could probably still win at at Kentucky. But I think when they go to Starkville, they'll lose. I think Vanderbilt could beat them. They're definitely going to lose to Georgia, assuming Georgia's got a pulse, which I think they do after watching them today. Arkansas with road rash face, who knows? And I think they're going to lose to A&M. So I just don't think it's a good football team. And once again, it's a classic thing. Like, seeing them number 9 today bothered me. Watching the whole game and seeing, Texas, no, top 10 team. In what world did anyone really believe, based on any criteria, that they were a top fucking 10 team?
I want to shout out all the Texas fans that killed us in the preseason comments, Colby. I picked them to go 9-3. I was generous. You guys fucking suck.
I had them 8-4, buddy.
You were generous. You guys fucking suck. You're soft at the line of scrimmage. Arch Manning fucking sucks. Hey, Texas fans, it's always Horns Town, and it's going down. You guys blow.
I will
6-6 team.
And
Arch hilarious too. All that money too.
Well, that's the thing. I think, this is going to be fascinating to watch, because I almost think they should go out and get a better quarterback than Arch Manning, but you're locked into this big deal.
They got to get rid of.
They got a 5-star committed that'll beat them out in next year.
But how do you handle that then? If you do that, then
that guy's better than you, Arch. Have fun at Tulane. It's not that hard.
They got to move on from Arch.
To be honest, I understand the money aspect, but when push comes to shove, and you've seen Arch Manning play these football games, he's not the Texas.
He's
he's the worst quarterback in the SEC. I think. Short of Kentucky's guy.
Well, we don't even know who the starter is.
So. But Texas quarterbacks that make the team good are ballers, and they flash almost right away. Or they're like, even Major Applewhite outclasses fucking Arch Manning by a lot.
But Arch can also get better. He is young, but at the same time, have a team.
You can't spike balls in the dirt to dudes that are wide open multiple weeks in a row.
Look, I get your point, but I'm just saying at the same time, like, there are plenty of great quarterbacks that have been awesome later in their career. Right? Like,
sure, but he's going to have to develop by playing, and he's going to have to play
that's what I'm getting to is, like, Texas has a defense that could probably, if you gave them a good quarterback, then you could probably win a national championship. But you went all in on a guy that has just looked bad at every spot. Now, I'm not shitting on the guy because he is young. I mean, if he's got a couple more, I think couldn't he redshirt? I think he could redshirt too. So he could be in college for 3 more years? Is it?
Is this the 4th game they've played or the 5th?
No. I'm saying last year I think he only played in a couple games, right?
Yeah, he could.
So that red shirt's still available.
He just seems like a guy that's got to play football to get better at it. And in order to do that, I don't know if the people at Texas are going to be happy with 2 years of development.
I don't think Steve Sarkisian's a good football coach.
I agree with you.
I've always thought he's an average football coach. He's an average football coach in big spotlight games, with the exception of the game. I'll give him credit for the game at Alabama in Saban's second to last year. A lot of other games, I've thought he has not been incredible. And this goes back to USC. This goes back to Washington. I've always thought he's an average. I'm not going to say he's a shitty coach, but I've never thought he's good. He's a good coach. I don't believe that. I still don't believe that. I think he does a bad job prepping his teams each week. Yes, can he scheme open some guys from time to time wide open? Sure. I'll give him that benefit. But as far as weekly prep and having his teams prepped for what they're doing, I do think it's a flaw of his.
I'm going to push back on Daniel in the chat. Arch is a big problem. Arch is the number one problem with this team right now. There's a reason he did not beat out Quinn Ewers. I think people like old Steve Spurrier goes, everybody's crowning this boy. He's going to be the next big time thing. Why didn't he beat out old Quinn Ewers? You know, Steve Spurrier. Yeah, Arch sucks. And
he spikes balls in the dirt.
And defensively, Texas is not bad. But
no, they're good, actually.
They're really good. But when they're on the field the entire game because Texas can't move the ball, because Arch isn't very good, and to your point, Colby, Sarkisian, this is supposed to be Sarkisian's project with Arch. And this is bad. This is bad.
It's an F. You failed your project.
But I will say this, like, Sark, I do think we are undervaluing how much quarterbacks can improve year by year.
Sure.
But I will say this year, they don't deserve to be ranked right now.
Did Quinn Ewers ever look this bad at Texas?
No.
He certainly had games where he looked bad, though.
This many in a row?
No, he's never on this level. But I'm saying, like...
And how good did he get? I would say pretty dang good.
Yeah, I mean...
But he never looked this bad.
Texas could do a lot better than fucking Arch is what I'm saying.
Oh, of course. With their money?
Yeah.
That's why I disagree with that model. I disagree. You know, I was listening to someone else's podcast this past week. They were saying, like, well, if you keep your quarterbacks in-house and they can learn, and I was like, well, no, I disagree. I think there's plenty of examples of going out and getting a very good quarterback and it working. Now, sure, continuity still matters if you can keep the rest of the offense intact and they can step in and stuff. But I think Texas will look back at this year and say, man, we had a really good defense. Could have won a national championship with that defense had we just had a little bit better of an offensive line and a little bit better of a quarterback.
Talon Green. Let's say that name.
Yeah, I think you could make it.
They would be national title contenders.
But I'll tell you this: you can't get away from Sark. Like Sark, to me, you saw Arizona State should have beat them last year in the playoffs. Sark, to me, leading up to the game, is a bad coach. Now, sure, like I said, he can. I just don't think they. I don't think they have a great edge. Like certain coaches, like you can watch and say, man, they're fucking prepared for this game. They are super prepared for this game. I've never got that feeling with Sark ever in his career as a head coach. Now, what I can say is mid-game, can Sark make adjustments and find someone wide open? He can. He's very good at that. But I just think the lead up, that's a big part of football, man, is can you attack an area of weakness? Can you pinpoint something and have your team ready for this and ready for that? And I think he's average at that. Average. I'm not saying he's bad, but I think he's average. And I don't know that can ever, you know, especially when you know it's Texas, where it's everyone else's Super Bowl, but also you're spending out the ass. So your players are that's a new thing to handicap in this, is like those guys are all super rich. When you go take on other schools, they're not nearly as rich. So it's like, man, this is the fucking guy. Arch Manning's on 10 commercials. You know what I mean? Like, 100%. Fuck this guy. That's a new thing that, I mean, I know it was always there, I guess, a little bit, but I think it's magnified now.
Arch to UMass.
Tulane.
He still could be good though. There were quarterbacks that had great senior years that ended up being good pros, right? It just
Absolutely.
the games needs to slow down for him, and the O line's not helping him either, guys.
He might even
We didn't
need
talk about how bad that O line got fucking destroyed today.
True, very true.
Had to replace 4 starters.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, I don't know, like, how many, like, Taylor Green, his mobility would have been great today.
Yeah,
but
Danielle, Baron Morton is way better than Arch Manning.
I'm not a big Baron Morton guy either, though. But he is
right
better.
now,
But he is
Baron
better
Morton
than
is way better than Arch
Arch Manning. Yes,
So
I think without question. But he's also started for like 3 years in college.
Absolutely, and he's been at a place that's okay with that. I don't know if Texas is okay with that. I don't know if Texas.
Well, that's what makes it super fascinating. Is like you have a delicate situation there. You're paying this guy a lot. I tend to think when the backup came in for that one play when Arch got his helmet ripped off, I was like, damn, they got this dude threw a fucking like perfect pass for a first down. And I was like, but that's the drama. And that's what happens when you go out and pay someone with this lineage is you have a scenario. It's almost like LeBron's son at Duke when he, like it's that drama around it. Like, and it's not fair to Arch, but at the same time, what's not fair to Arch is not fair to the rest of the college quarterbacks. They gave him a 5-star. He was ranked higher above a lot of guys based on the lineage. Not on who
It's
actually.
almost like the quality of competition matters.
That too.
It feels like Arch might have needed the step between all the smaller white dudes that looked like the Sam Houston guy he was flexing on in high school. If he would have had 1 year in between to kind of adjust to a little bit quicker speed and then be here, he might be ahead of where he's at right now.
Yeah. Kent State covered, guys.
I know. Unbelievable.
Easy.
They were getting 45.5. They lost 44-0. Michael Hawkins got the start, and boom, got it done. We don't need to talk more about that, but
it's going to be a tough game against Texas with Michael Hawkins in. I will tell you that.
Boise State did not cover the 20.5. They lost by 21 to Notre Dame. They should have covered this, but still. I don't know what to deduce from this. I actually thought I was more impressed with Boise than I was with Notre Dame, if that makes sense.
It felt Boise just couldn't sustain drives, man.
They had a lot of drops too, but I kind of thought it was going to be a little bit worse.
Yeah, I agree. Took Boise in the points. I don't know what to make of that game. Notre Dame is probably going to win out and make the playoff. That schedule sucks.
Let me look at that upcoming schedule just to
bingo.
I mean,
no, USC could get them.
Not in South Bend though.
Before this week was the same thing I did last year. Immediate future on Notre Dame to win the national title. Because you will have a lucrative cash out option because if Notre Dame is anywhere.
Their defense did look better today.
But if they're anywhere near the bubble, Notre Dame's getting in. That Catholic money is going to come pouring in. They're going to put Notre Dame at the highest possible seed that they can get in the playoff. And then you just cash out and laugh about it. Because if the Catholics are going to make money, I'm going to make money.
Maddox Madsen was fucking terrible today, though.
He's been dog shit this year, though.
They're not going to lose another game.
They could to Pitt.
Is Holstein going to play or not?
I'm just saying Pitt has the makeup to potentially win that game.
You're giving Pitt way too much credit. They lost to the Mountaineers with no quarterback.
True, but that's very Pitt of them.
Yes.
That I know is Pitt.
Fair.
That's a normal thing over the years. I'm not saying even to losing to West Virginia. I'm saying losing to a team they shouldn't is very Pitt. But that's the thing about Pitt. Go back and look at the Clemson team that won the Natty. What was their loss? Pitt,
yeah.
And that was even at Clemson.
That was a terrible night. I hated that game.
Shout out to Notre Dame for getting a nice win there. Okay. I'm really excited about this one, guys. I'll just say, Mac, you got Southern Miss to make the Sun Belt Championship, right?
Yeah.
I do. We have a ticket to win, but you also took it to get there, right?
Yeah.
Arkansas State beat Texas State in one of the better games of the other day. No, that's great for us Southern Miss backers. That is great for us Southern Miss backers because all of a sudden, Southern Miss is in a good spot, buddy.
It wasn't great for the contest because the bet detective wanted to put Texas State in our contest.
That's right. You fucking bozos did that, but
I didn't do it. I was like, come on, bet detective. I was like, I don't know about this one. But yeah, bet detective had the nice Clemson play, so it evens out.
So Southern Miss is undefeated in conference. Now, granted, just 1-0 against App State. They have a huge game this Thursday at Georgia Southern, and I think if we get through that, we are in a very, very good spot. Gigantic spot this Thursday night. But watching that game, I watched every second of that game, and even put it on the main for the final 2 minutes. And I thought, man, if they lose this, we are looking good. This is the classic thing. And this is why, DJ Kinney's a hot name at Oklahoma State. He has struggled with this shit in a similar vein as some of the coaches we've talked about on this very show, where it's like, if you can put it together week to week, he can beat the best teams. But, man, beating ULM, beating Arkansas State, this is a 1-win Arkansas State team, and that was against the FCS.
You got to win that game.
Oh, man, that was a bad loss. That's a bad loss, man. Shout out to the Red Wolves for getting that done. We also cashed on Michigan State. We should talk about this one for a little bit, too. Oh, my God, we almost lost this bet.
And Smarty is the king of the backdoor cover, by the way.
No, but this should have never gotten that out of hand. Mm-hmm. All right? So if you're watching this game, okay, up early, Nebraska goes up 14-0. Had a punt return for a touchdown. Michigan State then scores 3 touchdowns not consecutive drives, but 3 touchdowns in a row for scoring position in the game, giving them a 21-14 lead. Nebraska ties this thing up at the 1-minute mark in the third quarter. And then I believe Michigan State, there was a lot of Michigan State kind of fucking this scenario up. Like,
yes.
The watching this game, I thought Michigan State, they can't get out of their own way. Reminds me of Colorado, actually. And then Nebraska takes a lead, and they kick the ball off. It's a rather short kickoff. And the Michigan State players, it bounces off their fucking leg. Right to Nebraska again. So Nebraska, in my opinion, the score is completely deceiving on this game. Look at this. Actually, look at the stat sheet. Nebraska had 261 yards of offense. Michigan State, 240. I'm telling you, and I have Nebraska as a future to make the Big Ten championship. I came away with this game thinking Nebraska is not that good. There's no way they're going to win these games on the road. I know Nebraska's schedule is incredible, but that's saying at Maryland next week, I'm I don't know. I don't think Rule has them as a very good team right now. Yes, they got the win today. Credit for that. That's a game they probably lost before. I just thought, man, they did not pass the eye test to me. They looked like a average football team to me. And I don't know how many games an average football team can win, even with the light schedule. That game at UCLA in November, I'm I don't know. I think UCLA could win that one.
Yeah.
I'm just not sold on Nebraska being a good football team right now.
I agree. Beats them next week.
I'm sorry? Maryland.
They play Maryland, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Maryland beats them next week. Yeah. I think this is one of the only coaching matchups that Mike Loxley might not be the worst coach in because the bar's not that high.
I mean, their next 3 games are Maryland, Minnesota, Northwestern.
They're going to get beat up a little bit.
I thought Nebraska was going to take a gear up, and those should be easy wins then. I don't know.
Now it's they're going to be chugging through them, and they're going to probably drop one, I would think.
I'll bet Nebraska next week against Maryland.
No, the Minnesota one, though, they're definitely.
Yeah, that one's scary.
Based on what I saw, I mean, Minnesota didn't look good today, but I don't know. I thought they would be better.
Agree. Year 3.
Yeah. They don't look like a great football team.
Raiola sucks.
They're still going to get to 8 wins potentially, though, because that schedule is so light. Rice ate shit against Florida Atlantic. Okay. Old Dominion is the best team in the nation, Mac.
dude, they're gonna fuck around and maybe be the G5 representative. How great would it be if Ricky Ronnie got to the playoff? Everybody's shit on him in the preseason. Not a very good coach. No, he is a good coach. They had a lot of bad luck. They're healthy finally. ODU is good.
Patty C texted me tonight after the JMU game, and he goes, Old Dominion's going to fuck us up.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, ODU is a fucking team.
Holton Joseph, get to know the name. He might be starting at fucking Florida next year or something. Yeah, Rice cost me money. The battle for the belt was an awesome game. South Alabama, Troy. Shout out to Troy Chewning. As his boys, Troy came through 31-24 in overtime. Great game, rivalry game.
Even used to live there in Montgomery.
Did you?
Oh, yeah. 3 years of life that I don't remember.
Alcohol, meth, heroin. What are we looking at?
All
here?
the above.
Age.
Yeah. Oh, age. Okay. So all three.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Guys, UNLV Wyoming is the most ridiculous game.
I am so sick of this fucking phony ass.
You guys doubt Dan Mullen. It's so funny.
I can't believe they won a game in the snow because they blocked 2 punts.
Three
punts.
And let me tell you something. I must apologize. You ever think that your tweet is like the ultimate jinx?
Yeah.
First play of the game in the snow. This game was in the snow. It was awesome.
Flea flicker fumble.
And I said, dome teams aren't ready for the snow. And then, of all teams, Wyoming can't punt the ball. Even though they're in Laramie. They're at home. 3 blocked punts. 3 blocked punts by UNLV. Guys, Wyoming had over 100 yards more offense than UNLV, but they didn't need it. Because guess what? UNLV had 3 block punts, also a strip sack fumble. I mean,
Stan Mullen ball, right?
This team just continues to voodoo. I mean, it's crazy.
UNLV is just Kramer sitting at the NFL slot machine, and they're just hit. Holy crap! I'm just gonna keep pulling this lever. It's just working. It's so funny. It is total voodoo, though.
Ridiculous.
I compared this team a minute ago. Michigan State and Colorado have similarities to me. I actually thought, and I know I am a Colorado fan, but Colorado was up 14-0 on TCU, right?
How did they not cover?
No, I mean, they pushed, right? They pushed, I think, right?
I thought it was 13.5 because Sonny Dykes pulled the ball.
Actually closed at 14.5, so they did cover. But I thought it was 13.5 or 14 on our show. This game, Colorado fans will be kicking themselves for a long time because I think personally, I think Colorado was the better team on the field today. Minus the turnovers. Just mind-numbing turnovers by Caden Salter. An interception at the 1-yard line. 2 other dumb interceptions, one on a wide-open guy. Colorado lost this game. This was not about TCU winning this game to me. This was about Colorado. I thought Colorado outplayed TCU today. Like, on a down-to-down basis, I thought Colorado came there and smacked them in the mouth. And it's just Caden Salter. You can't give a decent team that many chances. 4 turnovers. 4 fucking turnovers. That's a bad loss, man. And I don't even know if we can blame Dion. Like, I don't even I think.
No, I thought Dion had those guys ready to go. I mean, you look at it, Salter, 4 turnovers. The other side, Hoover, 4 touchdowns. Different.
It was the magnitude of the turnovers too. Like at the 1-yard line, you're just like, you can't throw that. Don't throw that. Don't throw that. Don't throw that.
Yeah.
Very, very painful loss.
You know Dion's pissed too because he circles those Texas games.
I'm starting to realize that, like, especially the Fort Worth Dallas ones, like I was very impressed with how sharp the team was playing and how aggressive the team was playing.
Yep.
Defensively. And to lose by 14, you got to put that on your quarterback. There's no hiding that. And then Miami, Florida State. Okay, Miami.
Miami's the best team in the country.
There might be one other one, but Miami's
Oregon?
right there. Texas Tech.
Yeah, fuck.
But Miami, this score is deceiving. Miami destroyed Florida State. Florida State actually pissed me off by kicking the field goal because I thought we were going to backdoor cover this fucking thing. Miami looked incredible today. Incredible. Many text messages between me, NC Nick, and friends were saying Miami should be ranked number 1 in the nation. They look dominant. My only hesitation, Mac, is this.
Can they put it together multiple weeks?
Well, this is their any team that had their first road game in October, I think we should take it with a grain of salt. But at the same time, Miami's home schedule was so strong that I think it's very hard to ignore how dominant and how great they've been. Am I concerned that they almost did the same thing with Notre Dame with the lead with Florida State? A little. But their schedule is genius. They had the bye before Florida State. They have it after before they host Louisville. And I think Louisville's a team that's capable of beating them, but it's a very good bye week. It's a very nice schedule in that regard. But I got to give it to Cristobal right now. That team,
they're good.
They look so physical on the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, they're not soft, and to your point, they're dominant in the trenches. Maybe Cristobal will Cristobal at some point this year, and they'll lose one game, but I can't see them going worse than 11-1.
Oh, I can still see. I'm not going to get there yet. When you only played one road game, you could still Cristobal. But I'm saying thus far,
they won in Tallahassee though. Prime time.
But to me, when you have your first road game as a bye week game, rivalry game in your home state, it's not as lazy as that's one that
look ahead. Spot.
Yeah, to me, when you play at some of the boring
Syracuse.
places, Georgia Tech's, or historically, I know Georgia Tech's better this year, but I'm saying that's when you know your team better. It's
the thing is, the playoff is set up for Cristobal to be able to Cristobal.
Oh, they're a playoff team. I feel like it's almost unavoidable that they're not a playoff.
Absolutely.
They do have the back-to-back road spot at the end of the year against my two hatred teams, Tech and Virginia Tech and Pitt. That is a weird scheduling spot.
Well, I mean, in both
Greenbrier.
One of the coaches is already gone. Narduzzi could be gone, depending on how Pitt goes down the stretch here. But either way, I don't want to take it away from Miami. That was super impressive. You dominated them. Now, at the same time, I also think Florida State could be a 6-6 team.
Very fair.
Yeah.
I think Florida State's also a gimmick-ass team, right? In my opinion. Now, that works sometimes. It doesn't work sometimes. But I'll tell you this. I know Pitt comes to Tallahassee next week. You can go ahead and lock up Pitt for me, because I think the fans are going to be a little
fuck them up.
Two straight losses. I could see. You saw the quit in Florida State last year. Why would it not be right now?
You're buying back into this Pitt voodoo bullshit.
What about you at Florida State here, dude? What happened last year? They're basically out of the ACC championship. They went and got a team of mercenaries. You're just sold that they're going to show up every week. You saw them quit last year. Sorry,
I'm just going to fade Pitt.
Okay, but remove Pitt from the equation. Remove Pitt from the equation, and Florida State moving forward, knowing that you're out on a tiebreaker to Miami and Virginia, which are probably them and Georgia Tech would be the top 3 teams in the conference to make the championship game. Fourth would be Duke right now, who's undefeated, right, in the conference. You got to worry about this if you're Florida State. The same situation happened last year.
It did. I mean, it did, but I don't think they're going to quit yet. I think they'll quit in November potentially.
We'll see.
I'll be at the game on November 15th at Doak against Virginia Tech. That could be the game they quit at, to be honest.
To me, though, they're a gimmick-ass team. They can't sit back and consistently.
Yeah,
you have to have the lead. So the minute I knew that Miami was going to fuck them up, it's very similar, I thought, with Vanderbilt. But Vanderbilt actually did it as far as have the lead early. You have to dictate the pace of the game, the tone. Because if Miami gets just a 10-point lead on you, 14-point lead on you. Florida State is not comfortable just sitting back there throwing the ball. So it makes it a complete gimmick. You don't have the horsepower to do that. If you can stop the gimmick, you have them beat. And Miami had it early. I know Cristobal got super conservative and the onside kicks made it interesting, but Miami dominated them, shut that little bullshit offense down. And to me, I think Pitt could do the same thing. Like, especially in a week where you're thinking like, okay, I just don't know that I can. If it's not Pitt, someone else will. I don't count on that to work every time. There are going to be games where you're down points. And then when you have a team that starts 22 transfers, I just worry about it long term. And I think you saw it last year. You saw it last year when they went 2-10. That roster was way better than 2-10, and they went 2-10.
I fully agree, because 2 weeks ago when I got invited to the Virginia Tech game, it was bells and whistles, multiple emojis, every message. Hell yeah, we'll see you guys down there. Today it was, are you guys still sure that you want to come all the way down to Florida for that game?
Yeah, like you gave Gus Miles.
It goes quick, man. It's crazy.
You gave Gus Miles on 6 months to prep for Alabama, and he was ready. And also, they had the benefit of not seeing Malzahn at Florida State, right? With Castellanos, with all those pieces. Since then, they've beaten Kent State and Commerce, right? Texas A&M. Those are two terrible, terrible, terrible teams, right? They lose to Virginia. They lose here. I mean, credit to Miami. I'm just saying though that I think about this as like, how good is Florida State really? They're a one-dimensional kind of candy-ass type of team. Now, that still might be good enough for 7 or 8 wins, but I'm saying like they are the epitome of a gimmick.
And I know the game was in Duke, but if Ty Simpson plays the way that he did now, Alabama doesn't lose that game.
Well, if you
I understand they couldn't really
if
stop the run.
To me, it was timing. It was yeah, they couldn't stop that run. They got punched in the face actually, but
like I think there's a few plays that had pretty open guys that Ty Simpson just kind of missed that would have extended drives that if they don't win, they at least make it much more interesting than it was.
Sure. And maybe you're right, but I also think the fact they played them the first game of the season with all these 22 new transfers, it's hard to visualize what the fuck we're going to see, right? How is this going to work? That was to their surprise, but once you get tape on them, then you can learn about, hey, this is what they do. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to watch, but either way, Miami does look fantastic. Cristobal deserves. I've shit on Cristobal for a long time since he was back at FIU or whatever. I've shit on Cristobal. We'll see if that comes back around, but they look really good so far. They dominated that game. That score is deceiving. They fucked them up.
Yeah. They hit him in the mouth. They control the line of scrimmage.
They looked the way that Florida State looked against Alabama.
Now, let me ask you this, though. Is everyone else sleeping on Texas Tech? Because Texas Tech went into undefeated Houston and fucking destroyed them.
Dude, they're good. They're the real deal.
I think they left points on the board.
Yeah.
Considering like 35-11 was the final score, but Texas Tech had over 500 yards of offense, 552 yards of offense to just 267 yards. And that's what I'm saying is like, to me, like, I know Texas Tech is similar to Miami because they've only played one road game, but Miami's played a much more aggressive home game schedule.
Yep.
So we can trust Miami a little bit more, I think. But I also think Texas Tech, because they went and got so many guys in the portal, they are only getting more cohesive with each given week. So I think that we haven't seen the best out of Texas Tech, whereas Miami, I'm like, this is kind of what they are, a very good football team. I don't know. We cashed on Texas Tech, though. Pretty impressive stuff there. Kansas battled back from behind to beat UCF.
That was a gritty win by the Jayhawks.
Goal line stand against UCF there at one point.
Yep.
Ohio State, we should probably talk about them. I don't know if Minnesota's any good.
They're horrible.
But Ohio State destroyed them 42-3, and I think we should give some credit to Ohio State because they did have the whole – Ohio State's defense should be talked about a little bit here. I know it's Minnesota. I know they have a lawn chair at quarterback, but they held them to 162 yards of offense.
Patricia.
He's been balling this year, dude.
Yeah.
Number 2 pencil, baby.
Dude, their defense won them the game at Washington. It wasn't the offense. I think Ohio State's really good defensively.
That's what I'm saying. I think
the talk of the town
schedule,
is their defense better this year than it was last year?
That's what I was about to say. I think it might be.
It really might be.
We cashed on Texas A&M minus 14.5 as they stuck it to Mississippi State 31-9. Took to the second half, but they got there.
Yep.
I ate shit on Tulsa plus 21. Bad play.
Yeah,
Memphis,
Dundee.
Charles Walker.
Oklahoma State is that bad, Dundee. Don't be confused by that win going forward. They're just really bad.
Yeah, I kind of think Tulsa. I thought Tulsa could be a bowl team. I'm about to sweat this over. What did I get? 3.5 or 2? I think it was 3.5. 2 and 4 right now. Duke Cal. I lost money on Cal too. I had Cal's up 14-0.
Yeah.
And I'm getting, what was I getting 3.5? So I'm up 17.5 to nothing. And I lose this one as Duke wins 45-21. Duke is one to watch out for because they're getting healthier.
It's a hell of a win.
Duke, Georgia Tech. 2 weeks. Duke's on bye next week.
Yeah.
That's an interesting game right there. Duke's next 2 games, if they get through them, watch out. Because they're home to Georgia Tech and at Clemson. If they can get through them, or if
Clemson's fun.
Well, if they lose at Clemson, then if they beat Virginia at home, they're still in a good spot to potentially play in the ACC championship with Carolina and Wake after that. But shout out to the Blue Devils. And then the final game of the night, we also cashed on. Nevada plus the points against Fresno. Nevada battled back. Almost won the game outright. But Fresno, how about Matt Ensign, Fresno, man?
5-1.
5-1. And I believe I was looking at their schedule earlier this morning. They're at Colorado State next week. They're going to be 6-1, buddy.
What was their one loss? Week 0 at Kansas?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super impressive. That's a turnkey program right there.
Yeah.
All right, game balls. Let's do one game ball each and get the fuck out of here because I'm tired. My eyes are barely open. I look like French Stewart right now.
And yeah, Bobby Organ, I did see the Cal ball boy run down the field to have a secret high five with a Duke wide receiver. That was pretty funny. Maybe another federal investigation. We'll see.
I'll be honest. I fell asleep in that game. Not because, I normally like watching late. I don't know. You got a 1-year-old son. You just fall asleep at weird times.
Doze off.
Game ball, Mac. You started. Where are you going?
Nico. UCLA.
Served it up on a tee for you, buddy. I'm Stockton. You're Malone.
Let's go, baby. Shout out to you, Nico. Good win today. 1-4. You're earning that NIL check. I can't wait for UCLA to go 1-11.
Yo, Mac, do you know what he's averaging per win right now as his NIL payment?
So 1 win, and he's making what, $3 million a year?
That's pretty good money, right?
Yeah, it's not very good ROI for UCLA, but good for him.
I didn't know if you had the Morgantown math in you this early in the morning.
Carry the 1.
Yeah, okay, got it.
Troy, where are you going? Game ball. Give out a team. Game ball.
Team game ball, man. It's kind of hard not to say Florida because the swamp showed up, but yeah, I'll give the team game ball to Florida. They proved all of us right. They helped us give the horns down for a whole day, which makes everybody happy. Texas loses, America wins, and I guess for that, Florida gets a game ball. Honorable mention game ball to Connor Hawkins on Baylor. 53-yard field goal was baller.
Yeah, Michael Trigg also with those catches. Florida's at A&M next week. I think it's kind of a scary game for A&M in a way.
I don't know if the cult activist will scare off the Gators because they're already so much of a hick of like Florida man plus weird County hicks that they'll probably go in there and be like, oh, it's just Thursday night church. It's no big
They'll
deal.
welcome them with open arms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you guys do chants on Thursday night together and then go out to Raising Cane's? We do that too.
But the Florida fans will be like, what the fuck are these overalls?
Why are you wearing anything? We just walk around with our dicks.
You fishing right now? My game ball. Let's go to. I mean, I should go to the Georgetown Hoyas, but since they're FCS, I will not. You know what? I will go to the Miami Hurricanes. Nice road win. It's a game I feel like historically would lose. So shout out to those Canes getting a rivalry win and sticking it to their rivals, Saudi Arabia State. So game ball to the Canes. Mac, number 2, where are you going?
Number 2. Who do I want to give this one to? I'm gonna go Navy.
That's
I mean, it's a Commander-in-Chief game. It's a rivalry, and I mean they didn't play well, but they found a way to win. So Navy gets my game ball.
No, that's a good one. I think that's a real good one. And because there was only a few landmines on that schedule where you're like, Air Force could catch them.
Air Force could have caught them.
Yeah. I agree with that. Troy?
Got to go to Mac's favorite team here, the Pitt Panthers. Mason Heinschel.
Boston College.
Heinschel.
Boston College is a game ball.
I do have
now?
the mustache.
Oh
it's a little too wide. Maybe if I cut it like more this way.
I'm logging off.
Yeah.
There goes Moneyline McIntyre.
I've had enough of this bullshit ass show.
Well, just wait till they beat Florida State next week.
Florida State's gonna fuck them up.
Just a shout out to the fact that they ruled Eli Holstein out and the line moved in favor of Pitt. Shout out to everybody knowing.
And Desmond Reed. Wake Forest, final game ball. You went on the road to Blacksburg. You don't normally win that game. Jake Dickert, game ball. I haven't slept in a long time. Let's go sleep. Folks, give Troy Chewning a follow on Twitter at Troy Chewning.
Some of you get to sleep.
Oh, yeah, you get to go to work right now. It's because
enjoy the golf course, Troy.
The meth. Look, when you're on meth, you could do everything. You could stop asteroids. You know what I mean? Like you're in the zone right now. You're riding this thing out. You're going straight into work. I don't want to tell people where you work because that JCPenney's. I think a lot of people thought they closed. I think a lot of people.
We got a outside cash investment to stay open for a few more months. We're the only store left open at the mall.
The mall is dull, but you're still doing it. You offer the cards. You used to have the JCPenney.
Yeah, you don't pay any interest for like 18 months, and then it immediately hits you with the 38%. Yeah, we still offer those for sure at JCPenney's. We can finance anything.
Shout out to our friend Leg Show Magazine. He's the man. What's good in the NFL today? I don't watch that shit.
Not the kickoff.
The main sports gambling show.
Yeah. I haven't watched the NFL game in 2 years, so I waved the white flag with that kickoff shit.
Dude, Dundee, what you should do is you should bet the coin flip in NFL games and then turn the game off after the coin toss. Just bet heads or tails and be like, damn, I'm up this week in the NFL again.
Yeah.
0 minutes watched.
That's good. The coin toss. I should do that. Folks, I'm on Twitter at DColbyD. Mac's on Twitter at Moneyline_Mac. Troy's on Twitter at Troy Chewning. Let's go sleep. I can't wait for next week. Next week's schedule, by the way. Oh, my God.
Loaded.
Yeah. They got to balance these out a little bit better, but I guess you can't when you don't know who's going to win. Till next time, this is the College Football Experience. Go fuck yourself and the show coming up next.
Run and shoot. We can really run and shoot. And the whole team's looking and the whole world's looking with a camera.
Shift manager's going to be upset.
Run